Sha, can you teach me how to write a book? In 2012, this was the theme of the messages Sha has been receiving from people who wanted to learn how to write a book. The requests came from people all over the Philippines and even from other countries. So Sha thought of a way to reach out to these people. In April 2013, she gave a talk at Bo Sanchez's best-selling authors bootcamp. That's when the idea of creating a complete online course on book writing and book publishing was born. She developed the modules, and with the help of brother Bo Sanchez, she was able to come up with the online course, the 90-Day Book Writing Challenge. She launched it in January 2015, and in June 2015, the graduates of the 90-Day Book Writing Challenge launched their books. Each year, more and more graduates of the 90-Day Book Writing Challenge online course were able to write, publish, and launch their books. To date, Sha Nacino and her team has helped 100 graduates of the 90-Day Book Writing Challenge write, publish, and launch their books. In November 2018, Sha Nacino and her team at Wright University launched the Global Authors Summit. Over 350 authors, aspiring authors, and readers attended the summit.
In November 2019, we celebrated year 2 of the Global Authors Summit. The Philippines was proud to host the event and welcome our global speakers from India, Singapore, Malaysia, Canada, and the US.
Reach out for your highest point that you can physically do.
Don't let anyone tell you that you cannot do something that you want to do. If you need someone to believe in you, let me be that person. Let me coach you through the 90-Day Book Writing Challenge.
I'm not a writer. I've written a book even if I'm a person with disability. Nothing is impossible. If you have a message to share, then you can write a book.
I can write what is wrong. I can sing just any song. I'd like to leave you with one message. If you believe you can write a book, then you can write a book. Because again, if you can write a sentence, then you can write a book. Can I see a raise of hands here? Who among you here can write a sentence? Then all of you can write a book.
In 2019 and 2020, the graduates of the 90-Day Book Writing Challenge launched their books at the prestigious Manila International Book Fair under Sha's brand, Wright University.
In 2021, during the height of the pandemic, Wright University launched the first ever Filipino Authors Virtual Summit.
Today, we are once again witnessing the book launch of the graduates of Sha Nacino's signature online course, the 90-Day Book Writing Challenge. If you have a burning message you want to share, let the speakers and graduates of the 90-Day Book Writing Challenge inspire you. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Good afternoon. Let's put ourselves in the presence of God. In the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. Amen. God, thank you for gathering us this afternoon for the Global Authors Virtual Summit. Bless this event. Bless all the authors, Wright University and the Wright University team, and the viewers. May everything we do bring glory to you. In Jesus' name, amen. In the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. Amen. Hello, everyone. I am Kat Aristorenas, and welcome to the Global Authors Virtual Summit. And this is organized by Wright University. I will be your host this afternoon, along with Justin Bulan. Let's bring in Justin. Hi, Justin.
Hi, Kat. Hello, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm happy that the weather is good this afternoon, although we're doing this virtually. It helps with the tech, right, Justin?
Yes, definitely. And we really are hoping for a great, smooth flow today because it's been a while since we had our book launch. And so we are really excited to feature our graduates for today. So to all those who are tuning in right now, thank you for being here. And please say hi. I already see lots of our viewers saying hi. So if you haven't said hi yet, please say hi in the comment section and let us know where you are tuning in from. And also, we would love to know, what are you most grateful for today? Okay, so what are you most grateful for today? So while we are waiting for answers from our viewers, Kat, I'd like to ask you, what are you most grateful for today?
Well, today I'm grateful just to be here with you and here with the Right University team. It's always an honor to usher in new graduates of the book writing challenge of Nacino. And of course, good health. And my eyes now are cooperating at this moment because, you know, in the pandemic, we've been using our eyes and sometimes they've become weak. But gratefully, today, they're a lot better. What about you, Justin?
Yes, for me, I'm grateful for the gift of technology that we are able to be together virtually, right? And globally, people from all over the world, we are able to come together in this space thanks to technology. And I'm also grateful for good health, and also I'm grateful for the opportunity to serve our authors for today who are going to publish and launch their books for the first time. Ayan. So thank you so much.
Yes,
All
definitely.
right.
So maybe we can take a look at the comments now, Justin. Go ahead.
Yes, so Miss Esmenia Katabay Celeste, she said, I'm grateful for attending the summit. Yeah, thank you for being here. All right.
Else, grateful. Yeah, grateful to be me. Back from along the process. Grateful to be me and to be with everyone.
All right.
Diba?
I saw earlier, grateful to be alive. Of course, yes. Very simple. Sometimes we forget about it, but yes, grateful to be alive.
Yes,
Miss Milan, Patricia Kim, she said, I'm grateful for life and more blessing. Amen.
Yes, every day is a new day for us to begin again to pursue our dreams. And our authors today have really pursued their dreams of writing their own books.
Yes, all right.
All right. So again, we welcome you to another Global Authors Virtual Summit, and we're featuring graduates of the 90-Day Book Writing Challenge, of course, founded by a best-selling author herself, who will give our opening remarks.
A global speaker on gratitude and creativity, and a founder and host of the HR Summit Global, Global Authors Summit, and the World Gratitude Summit, the biggest virtual learning event with 15,000 plus participants from 49 countries. SHA has inspired over 100,000 people globally in countries including the Philippines, Hong Kong, US, Singapore, Maldives, Malaysia, and India. She has served as a speaker to global brands like Johnson & Johnson, HSBC, AXA, USANA, Sun Life, and many more. In 2019, Sha was awarded as the Female Entrepreneur of the Year, presented by the United Nations Global Entrepreneur Council and Women's League Foundation. She was also awarded as a Distinguished Toastmaster, the highest award given by Toastmasters International to its members worldwide. Sha is a speaker who is known to move her audience with her well-thought-out, engaging, fun, and easy-to-understand talks that include tangible action plans. Sha marries her background as a former bank employee with her journey as an entrepreneur and a professional speaker, so that her stories relate to employees, entrepreneurs, and leaders alike. An author of 15 books, host and producer of the Author's Voice podcast and Joy and Peace podcast for Catholic singles, and a creator of online courses like the 90-Day Book Writing Challenge and the 90-Day Speak to Thrive Challenge. Sha is incredibly grateful to have been given opportunities from a humble background as bank employee to a global speaker and a global proponent of gratitude. In this journey, she has worked with and interviewed renowned thought leaders like Bo Sanchez, Jack Canfield, Dr. John DeMartini, Andrew Matthews, Dr. Ivan Misner, Ron Kaufman, etc. Let's all welcome best-selling author, global speaker, and the founder of the 90-Day Book Writing Challenge, Nacino.
Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you're tuning in from. My name is Nacino, and I'm so happy and excited to welcome you to the Global Authors Virtual Summit. Thank you for being here. Maybe you're here because you want to support a family or friend who is launching his or her book today. Or maybe you're here because you dream of writing a book. Or maybe you're here because you just want to have a good time. Whatever your reason is, you are at the right place at the right time. Thank you for being here. When the idea of writing a book came to mind sometime in 2008, I felt so uncomfortable and I wanted to discard the idea because number one, I was not a writer. And number two, I did not like to write a book. And I felt so uncomfortable with the idea of writing a book. I remember I would wake up in the middle of the night and I would hear a voice telling me, write a book. I would be at work, so immersed in what I was doing. And I would hear a voice telling me, write a book. And so after months of trying to run away from that calling, I finally decided to heed the call. And I'm so grateful I did that. Fast forward to today, I've written 15 books and I've helped over 100 first-time authors write and publish their books. Writing a book is such a beautiful calling. I wrote a book because I wanted to serve. But little did I know that writing a book led me to where I am now. It led me to finding my passion in speaking. And now I travel the world to speak. I just came from the US to attend a convention and to speak in that convention. And next month, I'm going to the Maldives to speak in a conference. And I'm so grateful because all these opportunities opened up to me after I wrote my books, after I wrote and published my books. Today, at the Global Authors Virtual Summit, you are going to meet first-time authors who will launch their books. You will get inspired by their stories. Like you, it also began with a dream to write a book. They acted on that dream. And today, they are launching their books, which are the fruits of their actions. Here at the Global Authors Virtual Summit as well, I invited my friends, global speaker friends and authors who will share their insights when it comes to book writing. So I invited friends from India, Singapore, Australia, and other parts of the world. So whatever takeaway you'll get from the Global Authors Virtual Summit, feel free to use them. And I'd like to leave you with 3 tips. Tip number 1 is this. You have what it takes to write a book. Let me repeat that. You have what it takes to write a book. And I want you to write down in the comment section, I have what it takes to write a book. You have what it takes to write a book. And I can prove it to you. If you can write a sentence, then you can write a book. The only skill you need for you to be able to write a book is the skill to write a sentence. Again, if you can write a sentence, then you can write a book. Sentences make up a paragraph, paragraphs make up a chapter, and chapters make up a book. So it's just a matter of how do you put those sentences together to create a coherent book. So that's my tip number 1 for you. You have what it takes. Tip number 2 is this. Write for the right reasons. So some people would like to write a book because of fame, money. But I'd like to encourage you to write for the right reasons. Fame and money are not bad, but these are the consequences of writing a good book. So ask yourself, why do you want to write a book? What is your reason to write a book? Whatever that reason is, may that reason boil down to love. May that reason boil down to serving other people. My reason for writing a book is so simple. Write because you care and you have a message to share. And that is what I would usually tell the students of the 90-Day Book Writing Challenge. Again, if you have a message to share and you care enough to share that message, then by all means, write a book. My tip number 3 for you is this: make a decision to write a book and make it happen. Writing a book is a decision. When you decide to write a book, then you ask yourself, okay, I want to write a book and I want to make this happen. What help do I need? Who are the people who can help me? What do I need to do? And I hope you make the right decision. Again, I'm so happy that you are here attending the Global Authors Virtual Summit. And I have a little favor from you. If you find this helpful to you and to your family and friends as well, please share this live on your Facebook wall and let us know in the comments. Just say "done sharing." It is so fun to serve, and one of the best ways to serve is by writing a book. Why? Because you write a book once and then you can print hundreds or thousands of copies. So it's like you talking to hundreds or thousands of people one at a time. It is so fun to serve and share. Speaking of sharing, one of the things I love doing these days is to travel. And when I travel, I do music videos. And I'd like to share with you one of the latest music videos that we've produced. If you know the song, please feel free to sing along. We also put lyrics on screen. Enjoy!
Feelings coming over me. There is wonder in most everything I see. Not a cloud in the sky, got the sun in my eyes, and I won't be surprised if it's a dream. Everything I want the world to be is now coming true, especially for me. And the reason is clear, it's because you are here. You're the nearest thing to heaven that I've seen. I'm on the top of the world looking down on creation, and the only explanation I can find is the love that I've found ever since you've been around. Your love's put me at the top of the world. Learn my name, and it's telling me that things are not the same. In the leaves on the trees and the touch of the breeze, there's a pleasing sense of happiness for me. There is only one wish on my mind. When this day is through, I hope that I will find that tomorrow will be just the same for you and me. All I need will be mine if you are here. I'm on the top of the world looking down on creation, and the only explanation I can find is the love that I've found ever since you've been around. Your love's put me at the top of the world. The world looking down on creation, and the only explanation I can find is the love that I've found ever since you've been around. Your love's put me at the top of the world.
Wow, that was a beautiful cover of the song Top of the World by Nacino. And then she shared some sights, no, of the places that she's been. I love the mountains, the trees. How about you, Justin?
Yes, definitely. It's great to see and to sing along with Sha during the video. Yes.
Yes, and I'm sure our authors feel also that they're on top of the world because we're now going to, later on, we're going to be introducing them and the stories that they share. So we're celebrating them, the graduates of the 90-day book writing challenge. And yes, as we mentioned, who will be launching their books today? There will be a total of 19 authors who will share with us their stories through the books that they have written. And we also invited global authors from Australia, India, and Singapore to share their insights. This is quite exciting for me. How about you, Justin?
Yes, super, super excited, Kat. I'm super excited to hear from our authors, hear from our guests, and I'm excited for where their books can take them. Who knows, they might be speaking globally as well, just like Sha.
Yes,
So
that's
now,
true.
yes, exactly. So to show our appreciation for our viewers today, we will be giving away Sha's ebook of Money and Me and Love Yourself Today as prizes for our games. So we have 3 games throughout the program, and we will start with game number 1. And the mechanics is very simple. So you just have to share this live video in your Facebook feed, share your thoughts in the caption, and don't forget to use the hashtag GLASS2022. That's hashtag GLAS2022. And once you're done, just reply done below in the comments. And later on, we will choose 2 winners for the Money and Me ebook. Okay, so stay tuned until the end of the program. All right. And then if you want to be a part of Sha's Tuesday email newsletter for free, just go to shanacino.com/dreams. So again, that's shanacino.com/dreams. All right. So Kat, are you excited to hear from our from our authors?
Yes, yes. And I'm sure our viewers and their supporters are excited as well. And just briefly, now, just a note on the Tuesday emails of Sha. They contain a lot of inspiring stories, and she also updates us, the recipients of her emails, on her whereabouts, on her own inspirations and realizations in her life. So we invite you to subscribe to that and be a part of it. So you get your weekly dose of inspiration from Sha.
All right. Thank you for that, Kat. All right. So I'm sure that all of you are excited as well to hear from our authors. So without further ado, let's start with the first batch of authors. They will be sharing their life experiences and personal growth. So to start us off, we have author Dr. Teresita Cristobal Cruz. Dr. Teresita Cristobal Cruz, a school owner and a retired professor at Miriam College, formerly known as Marino, has authored more than 400 textbooks, teacher manuals, and learning materials in various disciplines. Dr. Cruz is a member of Toastmasters International and enjoys the rank of Advanced Toastmaster Gold. She has received these awards: Engracio Belmonte Memorial Award for Excellence in Filipino Research CEU, Balagtas Award, PNU SWP, Outstanding Citizen of Obando in the field of education and textbook writing, CSPB and CWP. Let's all welcome author Doc Tess.
Do not be afraid, for I am with you. I have called you by your name, you are mine. Do not be afraid, for I am with you. I have called you by your name, you are mine. These are the powerful Bible verses that inspired me to write gifts of gratitude. Be a blessing to others, with a very meaningful foreword by Nacino, my distinguished mentor. To Write University, my profound thanks and gratitude. My book has 12 chapters, all wrapped in faith, hope, and love. In the first chapter, I discussed the 101 reasons why I am thankful and grateful. I would like to invite you to discover for yourselves your more than 101 reasons to be grateful and thankful, so that you may continue to become a blessing to others. I believe that there is a time and a season for everything. A time to be born and a time to die. A time to plant and a time to reap the harvest. A time to write the book and a time to share the book to the world. I am now extending my hands in humility. Please support this project. 50% of the proceeds will go to the Lux Mundi Academy Scholarship Grant. We have so many scholars this year. As a school owner, I am begging you to lift us up. And I believe that God will pave the way where there seems to be no way, because God is a God of generosity. This is your friend, Dr. Teresita Cristobal Cruz, Advanced Toastmaster Gold, Toastmasters International, a proud graduate of the 90-day book writing challenge, mentor par Mabuhay.
Thank you, Author Doctes, for sharing your 101 reasons to be grateful. Wow, that's a lot. But what I love about it is that when you are grateful, you cannot help but feel to join the circle of giving, right? To be a blessing to others as well. So again, 50% of the proceeds for Dr. Tess' book will go to Lux Mundi Academy Scholarship Grant. So if you want to grab a copy of the book written by author Dr. Tess or the other succeeding authors, our team will share in the comments section the link or the email address of the authors. So up next, we have author Marian. Marian D. Sarmiento Sapaula graduated in 2003 from the University of the Philippines, Diliman, with a degree in BS in Community Development. She pursued a Bachelor of Law at Areola University and graduated in 2013. She is the Vice President of Christian Polytechnic Institute of Catanduanes, Inc., and is working as a government employee at the Department of the Interior and Local Government. Let's all welcome author Marian.
Hello, everyone. First of all, I would like to thank our Lord Jesus for bringing me here. I am grateful for the Right University headed by Ms. Sha Cecilia and her team for helping this dream become reality. My debut as an author is with the book Sweetness of You, which is a fruition of the 90-day book writing challenge with the team. We human beings need sweetness in many ways. And I look sweetness in Filipino angle, so I may share it with Filipinos who can relate and the non-Filipino readers who want a of Filipino culture. You can grab a copy of Sweetness of You via Kindle Amazon. You may have it as an ebook or a hard copy. By this, I would like to thank my family, my husband, Samuel Sapaula, for being understanding and supportive of me. Also, my parents, Attorney and Mrs. Arnold C. Sarmiento, and my sister, Cheryl and B. Sarmiento and family. Also, my parents-in-law, Mr. and Mrs. Jaime Sapaula, and also my sister-in-law, Jamie, Joyce, Cruz, and family. To my Facebook friends and everyone who make this dream a reality, thank you very much. Also would like to thank Crocombuch Philippines for Crocombuch with me, and it gives me an aura of sweetness right now. Thank you very much.
Such a sweet message. Thank you, author Marian, for sharing your sweetness for the people you are grateful for. And personally, I'm very curious, what is this sweetness? Looking from the lens of the Filipino culture. So if you are also curious about that, I invite you to purchase a book of author Marian. And I love what she said. We as human beings need sweetness in our lives. All right. So with that, our next speaker is a retired professor at Tarlac State University. Her passion for writing inspired her to finish her dissertation entitled Development and Validation of Creative Works as Supplementary Instructional Materials in Home Economics and Livelihood Education. Dr. Mercado is married to Mr. Marciano G. Mercado, and they were gifted with 5 children and 3 grandchildren. Her commitment to her life's roles contributed to her appreciation of this ideology. Life is a difficult journey, yet life is what we make it. Let's call on author Dr. Rebecca M. Mercado.
What inspired me to write a book? First, I love to share stories of resilience from a global perspective, guided by this principle. What you are is a gift from God. What you will be is your gift to Him. Second, I also love to profess that life is beautiful and God is always good. This scenario gave impetus to the birth of my book entitled The Road to Happy Heart, which is originally a validated and copyrighted 10-stanza poetry. As a multifaceted optimist, I view a happy heart as a status of holistic wellness, wherein the 5 essential components of personality must be enhanced and nurtured. This qualifies an individual to achieve a good physical health, mental acuity, emotional stability, social competence, and spiritual reverence. Placing myself in different persona, The Road to a Happy Heart as a poem reveals 10 easy steps to holistic wellness. Transformed into a book, such steps were used as titles of the 10 chapters of the book, namely, Be environment friendly, Buy a hyacinth for your soul, Health is wealth, Hold fast to dreams, Forgive and forget, to be stress free, Invest in a hobby, fellowship, or business, Live like ants, conies, and locusts, Reach out and branch out like a tree, Preserve the family as our true riches, and finally, walk with our Creator and be His best friend. At this juncture, I commend the 90-day book writing challenge of Miss Nacino and her team for sincere and catalytic coaching, heartfelt, personalized mentoring, and authentic, world-renowned experts' experiences. Lastly, I invite you to have a copy of my book. Email me at beckmer17@yahoo.com and direct message me at facebook.com being Marquez Mercado. After reading, tell me the missing piece. Thank you and God bless.
All right, those were great. Thank you, author Dr. Rebecca, for sharing with us your 10 easy steps to holistic wellness. And in a poetry form. That's very intriguing. I'm very curious what is inside that book. And I'm sure our viewers are as well. So again, if you are interested in buying Dr. Rebecca's book or other authors, the link will be in the comment section. All right. Up next, we have Imelda L. Areola. Imelda Areola is a member of the board of directors of Alberto Marifosque Areola Foundation, Inc., their family foundation providing livelihood assistance to farmers and fishermen to make their vision of abundance in every home a reality. She has a PhD in education, curriculum studies, and a BS in psychology degree from UP Diliman. She finished her MA Education, Values Education, from the University of Asia and the Pacific. She has more than 25 years of teaching experience, secondary, post-secondary, technical, vocational, college, and graduate school. Let's all welcome author Imelda.
I am Imelda Areola, the author of Life's Simple Miracles. This book is a compilation of the simple miracles I have personally experienced and those shared with me by my family and friends. This book was launched on May 17, 2022, on the occasion of the 30th anniversary of the beatification of Saint Josemaria. Most of the simple miracles I narrated in this book are actually favors received through the intercession of Saint Josemaria. Now this book is available at Amazon.com. I would like to share with you what those who have read this book have to say after reading Life's Simple Miracles. An inspiring, encouraging faith booster. After reading the miraculous experiences, we conclude that indeed we are favored, loved by our Father God. Countless miracles happen daily. With God, everything is indeed possible. The excitement of reading each story after another made me finish the book in one sitting, made me start appreciating the little things, the little miracles of life even more. An enjoyable read, accounts of blessings in the rich sea of life, written with a thankful and candid tone that inspires the reader to look at life from that keen perspective of God's providence and magnanimity. We just need to open our eyes and hearts so as to discover that life is steeped with such riches and gems that are set in its ordinariness. Reminds me of the Jewish song, the YANUARIA, which portrays God's never-ending generosity. It would have been enough to breathe, but God still gave us food to eat and the endless simple miracles that occur almost unnoticeably. Encourages us to spot those naturally occurring simple miracles, as it is the first step to abundant living by knowing what to be grateful for. Bishop Joel Bailon of the Diocese of Legazpi said, "May your book bring people close to their own miracle stories to find and praise the source of those miracles, God." The first book that I wrote under the 90-day book writing challenge of Nacino, How to Raise Happy and Successful Children, is also available at Amazon.com. The proceeds from the purchase of these books will be used to fund the livelihood projects for the poor farmers and fishermen. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to be part of the Global Authors Virtual Summit.
All right, thank you so much, author Imelda, and congratulations on launching your second book. So I love what you said about seeing the miracles. It is the gateway to opening the abundance in our lives. So some people think that you have to have lots of money, wealth, fame, success before you can feel abundant. But really the secret to abundance is being in the beingness of abundance yourself before you can even have. Because when we are feeling abundant, then we are able to attract more miracles in our lives. The more that we notice and be grateful for the blessings, the miracles that we receive, then we are being shifted into this abundant way of living. So there you go. So again, author Imelda's books, the proceeds of her sales will be used to fund the livelihood projects for poor farmers and fishermen under their foundation. So if you are interested to buy her book, please check out the links for how you can order, for how you can buy the books. All right. And I'm just curious for our readers so far, no. So for what have you received, or what do you think about the books that we are launching today from our authors? Do you have favorites? What are your what feels alive for you? So please feel free in the comment section. All right. All right. So I also like to invite you, the beauty in the 90-day book writing challenge online course is that, the lessons it's a proven system, it works. And you can repeat it to write and publish your first book, second book, third book, and so on and so forth. So if you are interested to write your own book, I would like to invite you to check out Nacino's book writing course. All right? All right. Very inspirational. That's right. So far, the books that were published and launched are very inspiring books, and we have more to come. So stay tuned. All right. So let's continue. Our next author is author Rebecca. She is a consistent honor student and a leadership awardee. She finished her AB major in English and minor in sociology, Bachelor of Laws, Master of Arts, major in administration and supervision, and Doctor of Philosophy, major in educational management. She is almost 31 years in the teaching profession. She is currently a VP for academics and Dean in the College of Business, Arts and Sciences of Dominican College, San Juan City since 2011. She has delivered lectures on gender and equality, cyber crimes, sexual harassment, and cyberbullying. Her mantra is correction is better than punishment. So let's all welcome author Becca.
People of San Juan City, where I used to stay right now, people of the Philippines, my beloved country, people of the world, ladies and gentlemen, good day. Today, I have the courage to speak before you because there is an important message or subject matter that I want to impart to all of you. And that subject matter is all about my book entitled My Heart is Halfway Around the World and subtitled The Perks and Challenges of Being an OFW Wife. What inspired me to write my book? It has something to do with the first day when my husband left for Qatar. On that very day, he embraced and kissed me and said, "Sweet, this is it. Homesickness versus dollars." It means to say, he has the difficulty of leaving me and that of my 4-month-old son, but he has no choice because he has a dream, and that dream is to provide me and our son a better future. And what is this all about? I mean, what is my book all about? My book is about a no holds barred take of the perks or the benefits that I enjoyed as an OFW wife. However, there are also challenges or problems that I have encountered. And what are the coping mechanisms or how I address these challenges I have encountered as an OFW wife? How I was able to write this book has something to do with Miss Nacino, really a blessing for me. This 90-day book challenge has helped me concretize my thoughts and my words in and my feelings, into words. And these words were converted into pages. And these pages become a book. The 90-day writing challenge was really tedious and challenging process for me. However, believe me, it was gratifying and a rewarding feeling because I was able to achieve my dream. And my dream, of course, was to write a book. And that dream become a reality. And so, if you are an OFW wife or a member is an OFW in your family, this book is for you. Buy or grab a copy, and I'm looking forward to helping you out with how I dealt with my own challenge as an OFW wife. Thank you very much, and again, good day.
Thank you so much, author Becca, for sharing your story in your book. I'm sure that many Filipinos can relate because we really have a lot of families who have members as an OFW. My father is one as well. So, and in our family, we have lots of OFWs, lots of relatives. So, I'm sure that many Filipinos will be blessed by your book. So again, if you are interested and you want to buy a copy of author Becca's book, just check out the comment section for how you can buy the book. All right. And we have our next author, Vernard M. Muegue. Took his Bachelor of Secondary Education, major in English at Iloilo Science and Technology University, Miagao Campus, where he received an award for Outstanding Journalist. His passion for writing led him to train young journalists and became a national winning coach in journalism. Currently, he works as an English private teacher and a writing mentor. Let's all welcome on stage author Vernard.
I am afraid to fail because failures, as how the world views them, are epitomes of incompetence, fragility, and scarcity, where skills, potential, intelligence, and even effort are never seen enough, but just almost. Yes, almost, just quite enough. It's painful. To me, pain is like a process of childbirth, exhausting, annoying, and debilitating. It is so powerful that it could even rip your will. Yes, it ripped my soul. It pierced my heart, giving me open scars, bleeding and swelling, letting me feel that I am not enough. And that's when I wrote this book, I Am Enough, an Antidote to Self-Deprecation. And if you are feeling weak, small, incomplete, dissatisfied, chaotic, worthless, lonely, troubled, and not enough in general, this book, I Am Enough, an Antidote to Self-Deprecation, is definitely for you. I wrote this book to flicker our lives with pearls of appreciation, like the stars dotted in the sky, twinkling and shining. The purity and authenticity of this book will let you realize that being you is your best asset and that you are special and enough despite failures, delays, fears, and heartaches. Hear my soul in this book. And as Misha, in the course of our 90 book writing challenge, would always tell me, listen to your voice. What message would you like to share with the world? Her being positive, supportive, and real induced me to unearth my dream to write and publish my first book, I Am Enough, an Antidote to Self-Deprecation. And this is the message I want to share with you. You are enough. Grab a copy of my first book, Be inspired as it brings you to perspective that highlights your being you. You can reach me at my Gmail, authornard@gmail.com. Again, you are enough. Good day. This is Author Nard.
All right. Thank you so much, Author Nard, for that powerful affirmation. I am enough. Wait, can I just invite the viewers, wherever you are, just say, I am enough. I am enough. I am enough. All right. You know, they say that the words I am not enough is the biggest illness in the world today, and I couldn't agree more. So I'm sure that Author Nard's book will bless a lot of people because we need to hear the message that we as we are, you as you are enough. All right. So if you want to grab a copy of Author Nard's book, check out the comment section. All right. And the last author for batch 1, we have author STELLA. Author STELLA YANUARIA is a part-time instructor of public administration at the Trinity University of Asia and a retired assistant vice president for knowledge management at the Development Bank of the Philippines. She is an AB and MA economics graduate from the University of Santo Tomas. She enjoys writing and hopes to write about more personal experiences. Her pastime is reading books by Gilda Cordero Fernando and Ambeth Ocampo. You may reach her via 0917-531-6946 or Sayanuaria, SAYANUARIA@gmail.com. Check it out in the comments. Welcome, author STELLA.
Hi, I'm Stella Yanuaria, 67 years old, a retiree from a government financial institution. I still teach part-time to college students in a Quezon City University. What inspired me to write a book? There are 3 factors. One is I am a retiree, so I have ample time on my hand. Second is I love to write. And third is it's the pandemic. So if you find yourself in a lockdown, quarantine environment, and you're just reminiscing the good old days, and you want to preserve it, and you want to have some mental exercise to avoid the early onset of dementia, then what better way is to write the book? It was just timely that I was able to see the Nacino's 90-day book writing challenge advertisement on my Facebook. So I enrolled last year, and it guided me tremendously on how to become an author. There are technical aspects. I thought all the while you just tell stories of your experiences, but you have to have a compelling message. So what is this book all about? This is an easy read book. It's a feel-good book. Nothing of the hard stuff. I promise you it is very inspiring, insightful, and personal as I share my journey in teaching part-time, which I later discovered was my passion. So I also urge the readers to take a second look at the life they're leading if they're finding joy, happiness, and fulfillment. There's nothing like contributing something to society to make life meaningful. In this book, I also give pieces of advice to graduating students who wants to join the corporate world. And for those interested in teaching, I believe you will really find fulfillment finding your students reach their goals, successful in their chosen field. And as they say, In teaching, it makes you feel young and vibrant. So to those interested to read this feel-good book, then you can email me, where I'm giving it free to the first 50 readers who will email at my email ad, which is sayanwaria@gmail.com. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, author Stella. Wow. Very great question. Are you finding joy, meaning, and fulfillment in what you are doing? I think that is a very powerful question that all of us should reflect on regularly, right? And again, the first 50 people who will email author Stella and let her know that you are interested to grab a copy of her book will receive it for free. So what are you waiting for? Check out the comment section for her email address and send her that email down. All right. So, our dear viewers, how are you? What do you think? We just finished the first batch of authors for today's launch. What do you think about the books that have been launched so far? And do you have a favorite? Let us know in the comment section. All right. All right. And I'm also interested to know, what is your favorite book of all time? What is your favorite book of all time? Like for me, I have to say that if you're familiar with Brother Bo Sanchez, Your Past Does Not Define Your Future, that book has been life-changing for me. That book is the turning point for me to help me get out from my dark times. So I really, really thank Brother Bo for writing that book. And that is actually why I also dreamt of writing my own book, just like the authors for today. If you haven't known yet, I am also a graduate of Nacino's 90-day book writing challenge, proud graduate here. So that's why I am excited to serve here at the book launch of our new batch of authors. All right. All right. My favorite is Tipping Point by Maxwell Gladwell. All right. That is a good book, Miss Ira. Thank you for sharing. Yes, Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. Timeless. Thank you for sharing. All right. So earlier, we gave you the mechanics for game 1. Now we have our second game, okay? And the mechanics is very simple again. So all you have to do is post a selfie or a screenshot in your Facebook feed watching this book launch. Make sure your posts are public so that we can see them, all right? And if you are an aspiring author, tell us in your caption why you want to write a book. Remember to use the hashtag #GLASS2022. That's hashtag GLAS2022. Again, we will be choosing 2 winners for this game, and they will win Sha's Love Yourself Today ebook. So we will announce the winners later before the program ends, so make sure that you stay tuned until the end of the program. And if you want to receive inspiration, regular dose of inspiration right in your inbox, I invite you to be a part of Sha's Tuesday email newsletter for free. Just go to shanacino.com/dreams. Again, that's shanacino.com/dreams. All right. So, like Sha and Kat shared earlier, we are not just going to feature our new authors for today. We have also invited global authors, and we are excited to hear from them about their experiences. So now it's time for our panel discussion. And it is my great honor to introduce to you our panelists for today. First, we have Gary Phipps. Gary Phipps is an inspiring and energetic communicator whose passion is connecting and empowering difference makers and leaders. Carrie loves facilitating new thinking to generate insights and turning point conversations. Creating new connections deepens learning and connectedness. Connecting with others is essential for thriving in life and business. Carrie Phipps is an international speaker, author, and coach, and immersing herself in leadership and executive coach training since 2004. Carrie also mentored and trained new coaches, wrote for magazines, and published 4 of her own books, co-authored another 10 books. Carrie now mentors purpose-driven entrepreneurs and authors to increase their clarity and confidence, and speaks to audience across the world to confidently connect with anyone, anywhere. Let's all welcome from Australia, Carrie Phipps.
Hello. So good to be here, Justine, and with all of you. I'm really delighted to be sharing the space with you today.
All right, thank you so much. We're happy you're here, Carrie. All right, next up, we have Sagar Amlani. Sagar Amlani is a global speaker inspiring over 18,000 lives in India, UK, Russia, Australia, Singapore, and Dubai. He has authored 2 books. One of them is endorsed by Dr. Marshall Goldsmith, and the second one is Amazon India bestseller and has been featured in several books and podcasts worldwide. He is also a LinkedIn strategist and coaches leaders globally with his signature program, ECG of LinkedIn. So everyone, let's welcome from India, Sagar Amlani. Hello, welcome, Sagar. We're happy you're here.
Namaste to everyone, and a very, very big congratulations to all the new authors. Hi, Carrie. Hi, Justin.
Hi, namaste. All right. And last, we have an impact maker, platform creator, and bridge builder, Delphine, and has 25 plus years of experience creating events, working with international speakers and clients. As a coach, Delphine is widely appreciated for her perceptiveness, intuition, her sense of humor, and ability to connect with her clients deeply, helping them to go from being stuck to breakthroughs. Delphine is a global speaker on resilience, empowerment, and emotional and mental well-being. A mother of 4, she authored A Mama's Diary, 7 Lessons from My Kids, and co-authored Amazon bestsellers Undefeated. All the way from Singapore, let's welcome Delphine Ang.
Hello, everyone. It's wonderful to see all of you. Shalom, and it's wonderful to also share the stage with Carrie and Sugar.
All right, we're
Thanks,
happy to
Justin.
have you here, Delphine. Thank you. And of course, our panel discussion will be moderated by Kat Aristorenas, an internationally certified Gallup Clifton Strengths coach. Her mission is to help other people embrace that they are wonderfully made so individuals can set their strengths and the world on fire. She does this through workshops on positive psychology, theology of the body, and through singing. Let's welcome back Kat.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Thanks, Justin. Hi, Carrie. Hi, Sagar and Delphine. I'm so excited to be sharing this virtual space with you this afternoon. Thank you for being with us. And I'm sure our viewers also are excited to learn very much from your experience as authors as well. So let me get to the purpose of our panel discussion this afternoon. The purpose is for our panelists to share their experience and insights on book writing or anything about being an author. So we can empower more people to realize their dreams of writing a book. And this is all in line with our event today, and the summit's name, which is Global Authors Summit. And at this point, before we proceed with the discussion, I'd like to address our audiences. If you have questions about becoming an author or how to write a book while we're discussing, please feel free to put them down in the comment section below, and we'll get to those in portions later on in our panel discussion. So just keep those questions coming. Now to our panelists, let me go to our first question. All of you have written a couple of books, and I'd like you guys to bring to mind your first book. And so here's the question. What inspired you to write your first book? So anyone can go. Each one will have their turn.
Okay, well, I'll jump in. So my first book was just an idea that I shared with a friend. I said, I'm thinking, I actually had a couple of options. I've completely forgotten the other idea that I had, but I said, I want to write just a small book, like a journal about the power of thoughts and words and writing things down and give people an aid to journaling. So I came up with the Create the Life Journal, you know, how your words are creative and you can create the life that you want through writing. And so put my husband and son on the cover. And
that's nice.
Yeah, and it's just like a chapter of questions to ask yourself. We all get stuck as writers. And I was working as a coach, and I'd been coaching authors and coaching speakers and other coaches. And we get to points where we just go, I don't know what to say. I've got so many words in my head. And so I wanted to just give some prompts and some encouragement and some examples. So I asked them of my clients and colleagues, you know, what's the value of journaling for you and how do you get started? And I just asked them to share their thoughts on it. And so then I had this chapter of, you know, why it's great to journal, you know, the fears that we have and questions to ask yourself, testimonials about writing, and then journal pages with quotes at the bottom of some of the pages just to, you know, help add the inspiration, and then a few inspiring stories at the end. So this is my very well worn, this is the one that I was writing in last year. So, you know, there's bits of paper, there's post-it notes and lots of stories. And yeah, I just launched that for my clients, but then I did a revised edition in 2016. So the first one was 2008. But it just was amazing how it shifted my thinking, just having a book, even though I knew it was like, it's only a small book, you know, in terms of the amount of words in it. It's just kind of one chapter, but it really liberated me, and it liberated others also to just write, to just put their heart out on paper or, you know, online, but just to get the thoughts out of their head and actually assess them and see what's there.
And really, I love the title, Carrie. It's Create the Life Journal. And I saw that write yourself to the life that you want, right?
Yeah, journal your way to the life
there you go.
Yes.
And I love that, because a lot of people need to get out of their heads, right? Their worries, and just to, you know, just to start dreaming again. And I'm sure your book has facilitated that for a lot of people. And Carrie's book is available on Amazon, as well as the other books of our panelists. So you can check those out later.
Yeah, I just wanted to say.
Yeah, go ahead, Carrie.
Sorry, you know, Shah, we've heard Shah say that, you know, I'm not a writer, you know, and she was actually on my podcast this week talking about how, you know, she felt like she's not a writer. And I really related to that. And I know everyone here will relate to that. Sometimes you just go, why am I thinking about writing a book? I'm not a writer. And yet we all have the ability to do that. And we don't realize how valuable our words are. So thank you for just letting me share that extra piece.
Yes, definitely. And also your experience is valuable. And then you basically leave a legacy when you also write it down for other people to know. All right, Sagar or Delphine?
Yep, I don't mind going next.
Oh, I'd like to jump in. Oh, maybe Saga? Please go ahead.
Okay.
Sure, okay, no problem. Okay, so for me, what inspired me writing my first book was when I was speaking to management students in a business school, and I was talking about my life journey from slums to working out as a litter picker, as a bartender, floods destroying my house, and then seeing my mother actually cooking food, holding an umbrella, and I was like, why me? And that's where it struck me that instead of why me, I should say what next. So I said what next to myself, and I started looking for options to study in London. Now people started laughing at me that, well, you don't have money to eat, food to eat, a shelter, and you want to go in London and study. Wow, you've gone nuts. So I was sharing that story with the students, and I told them that I went to London, I worked my way out, and I successfully reached London and not only completed my education, but actually topped the university for 2011 batch. And till today, nobody's broken the score. And that made me get into a campus, into working with Mercedes-Benz, working with VW and all that. And that story inspired all the students. And one of them literally interrupted me and said, "Hey, why don't you write a book?" And it never struck me that while I'm giving a keynote, people would jump in and interrupt like that. And they would ask me. And I said, let's think about it, because it was a question out of the blue and I had no thoughts of writing a book. Second, when I was in a LinkedIn local, somebody said, "Hey, you speak so well. Why don't you write a book and inspire so many around the globe?" And I was like, it's okay. I will. And that is the point when I decided it's a calling and I should, because this is the second time someone has told me. And if I don't do justice to myself, it'll be not right. So that's when I wrote a book and I started writing, and that inspired me to write the book. And it went on so smooth that I wrote the book and I reached out to Dr. Marshall Goldsmith and I said, why wouldn't you endorse me or review the book? And he said, Sagar, I know your story because I was one of the member in his coaching program. And he said, I would rather endorse it and review it. So bang on. And I was like, wow, the world is actually in blessing. So this is what inspired me to write the book, and this is what inspired me to write my second book and my third book, which is coming up. So yeah, that's it.
All right. Sagar, for the audience's benefit, can we ask what's the title of your first and second book?
So the title of my first book is At the Crossroads of Life, which helps people in making decisions. The book is written in 18 chapters, which is very simple to understand, and every chapter ends with a treasure chest, which explains them why did I do that and how can they use it in their life. And
All right.
the second book is...
go ahead. I was going to ask, does the first book contain your life story? Is that...
Yeah, the first book contains my life story as a part of 18 chapters.
Okay.
So the second book is The Key, which talks about 26 proven ways to build a productive mindset. And when I talk about productive mindset, we all have become robots where we talk about productivity and talk about efficiency and effectiveness. But there's an element of emotion which we are all having in our mind, which is because we are human beings. And that emotion, when connected to efficiency and effectiveness, gives you a productive mindset. And that's what my second book is all about.
All right. And from what you said, Sagar, I think it's very inspiring because usually people are limited in terms of their resources. And then they tell themselves that that's it. This is it for me. I can't go to study wherever I want. And so I just wanted to highlight that. And as also your message of, instead of why me, why don't we shift it to the question, why next? So next up, Delphine.
Hi, everyone. I actually wrote my book during the pandemic when I just gave birth to my fourth child. I actually have 3 other teenagers, aged 20, 18, 15. So in the midst of pandemic, I gave birth and I was stuck at home. And the one thing that struck me was that I have a lot of friends who are mothers, and I always think that we have no stories. But then, and we always want to teach our children. But as I look at my little one, I realized that my children have so much to teach me. I can learn so much from my kids. And so that prompted me to write this book, A Mama's Diary, 7 lessons from my kids. And I learned important lessons from each and every of my kids. And this book is written in just 3 days. I actually had a longer time. I took a longer time to publish it, right? And it comes from my heart. I write it simply, like what was the episode that happened, what's the lesson that I learned, and I invite and ruminate what are some of the they learn from their children, life lessons that which we think we may not learn, because we always think that we are more superior, we know much better. But when the cup is full, not fill in anymore. Like many of you who are here, I trust you. I invite you to be open so that you know what possibilities there are. And instead of looking at, I don't have a story, look at how can you make an ordinary moment into an extraordinary moment?
Delphine? Yes.
Hello?
Yes,
Yes.
we're losing you a little bit. You're coming in and out.
Okay. Is this
But
okay?
yes, it probably, it's just technical stuff, maybe the Wi-Fi. So
Yeah.
we will pray that it cooperates also from all our ends. But thank you for sharing that. And I'd like to ask you, what from the 7 lessons that you shared, is there a favorite of yours that you learned from your kids?
Well, I would say that the very first one would be, that there would be one lesson that I learned from my eldest daughter. And I remember she was just 10, about probably 10. And she was always complaining of someone in her class. And it went on for a few days, and I got really sick of hearing it. So what I did was I said, Andrea, her name is Andrea, on complaining and pick on someone, there's someone see in you which you don't like. And she turned around really quickly and she said, Mom, you're always picking on me. Perhaps there is something about me that you see in you that you cannot stand. And I went like, my gosh. I paused. It became like the pot calling black. It was like a mirror image. The lesson I learned from my eldest daughter. She was just 10 years old.
Wow. And I guess at that age, with them having very just simple minds, right? They can really teach us a lot of wisdom. And they at the age
Can
they
you
also
hear me?
say,
Oh dear.
We hear you, but there are little breaks in between. But we were able to hear the lesson that your 10-year-old said, that there might be something in you that you see in her. And that probably was in a way, a challenge also to fix for you. All right, let's go to our next question. Let's go to the challenges in terms of writing your book. What was the number one challenge you encountered in writing your book, and how did you overcome it? Carrie, you might have to unmute yourself.
My apologies.
There you
Yes. I would say one of my biggest challenges, which was not just my first book, it comes up with all of them. And I think a lot of people will relate to it. And that is, do I have something to offer? It's the self-doubt that comes up, and can I communicate this, as clearly as I want to, and will it be readable? Will people want to read it? And that's something that comes up a lot, because there's practical things. I saw that somebody just asked about, pricing your book. There's a lot of practical issues in writing a book, but there are so many people you can ask. There's so much research that you can do. You can look at what are people paying for these books in my local bookstore and online, but it's the inner conversation that we have with ourselves. And another question that I saw, what makes writing easy? It's the putting aside the judge that's in your head, just telling it like, I'm just going to do this. You sit in the corner while I just get the words out. Then we can edit it. Then we can get some help with making sure that the words make sense, but just get the words out. So we just need to be very aware of what's going on up here, so that we can, park that, let the words out, and then work with, our own editing, and then other editors and proofreaders also.
Yes. And from our previous, I think, hello. Yes. Okay. It's my turn to experience the challenges, but we'll get through this, everyone. All right. And I mean, from our previous discussions as well with other panelists, people also experience self-doubt. So sometimes they stop at self-doubt and they don't proceed with writing their books. So the tips that you gave, Carrie, so far will be helpful. So we have to set our thoughts aside. Maybe Sagar has something to add as well.
Sure. So what Kerry said is absolutely bang on 100% right, because there's a judge that keeps telling you if you're writing or not writing and if it's happening or not. But for me, the challenge was very, very different. So I was working as a vice president in a company and I was not able to write anything because I did not have time. Now, that was a reason I was giving to myself, or maybe I was procrastinating. So the first 500 words was like a Mount Everest. I just could not write even 10 lines. It's like, wow. And even it was more emotional for me because the minute I started writing, everything came to me as a flashback, that those days, those difficulties and everything. So for me, first 500 word was a challenge. So what I did, I chose a method which was a little lazy one, but a smart one. I got to know an app where you speak and it writes. So I
Oh,
actually started speaking while I was traveling and it started writing for me. And in like 1 week, I was at 1,000 words and I was like, yeah, I've done it. And
wow.
that was, that was smooth for me. So yeah, that was it.
Sagar, if you don't mind, can we ask what that app is? What's the name of the app?
Yeah, so I'm using Microsoft Office 365 app, which is having a mic in there and that's connected to your mobile phone. So I just hold the mic and speak and it converts to me into a Word document.
Oh, fantastic. I think our future authors here in the audience would love that trick as well because it's usually a challenge, right? I don't have time to sit and write. Now you can be traveling and then you can be writing through your voice at the same time. Delphine. Oh,
Yeah,
Carrie,
I
go
would
ahead.
say
Sorry.
that. Who? Carrie or
Carrie,
myself?
I think she raised her hand.
Just to add something to that, I just use the notes feature on the iPhone app. Like I might write something in my journal and they think, oh, that's gold. I just need to transcribe it. So I'll talk it out to my phone. But also, sometimes you have a really inspiring conversation with someone and you're about to say something and I go, excuse me a moment, I'm just going to hit record. And so I can record it, put it in Otter. But I just go, I have to tell you this story, but you know what? I'm going to share it. It's going to be a blog post or it's going to be, part of my next book. I just have to share that. So I think just capturing those thoughts, like Saga said, capture that, get the digital version, and then you can work with, the text later. Yeah. So thanks for that. Go
All
ahead,
right.
Delphine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that, the challenge of writing the first book was real for me because when I was 7 years old, I was slapped by my teacher for not understanding her in English. So I grew up with this limiting belief that I cannot speak English or write well. And then, I just keep this dream inside me until one day I thought to myself, like what Saga and Carrie suggested, what message would I like to give? I start asking myself question and answering question. When you ask your brain question, your brain searches for answers. So if you're not sure what to write, ask questions for yourself and use the app like as if you're talking to your friend, which is what I did when I wrote this book was to really be very almost like conversational because it's very authentic. It's really real for me. And my book was simple because I thought that I'm a very busy mother. I thought the mothers are out there, of them are busy. Would they have time? So I make it simple. I make it almost like a journal. I invite them to journal in this book as well. It comes almost like a journal. It's a book, a storybook, come journal. And I invite them to think about their own journey and to journal down. And that's so powerful that this is not my book, but it is their book. So I invite them to go on a journey with me. And, just to touch up, just to add on as well, that because I was so authentic about the way I write, because it reflects who I am, this book was picked up by a businessman. But if you read the title, it says, A Mama's Diary, 7 Lessons from My Kids. I thought it will only be, mothers, women who pick up the book. But actually, this gentleman who's a businessman in his 60s, he picked up the book and he said, it's a thin book. I like it because I got ADHD. And he finished the book in one day actually in one evening, and he wrote to me and said, this is such a simple, effective, but powerful book. I love it. I memorized all your 7 lessons. And because he has multiple businesses, he said, let me help you to market this book. And I have these other 2 businesses. And I think that the content you create is really relevant for families, for children as well. Can you create content for my digital platforms that's going up to global audience? And so I'm not competing with people who write thick books. So I would say I fish in the blue ocean. You compete with those other people where there's very little competition.
Hello, can you hear me? Oh, there you go. Okay. So that's wonderful. Somebody was able to help you, Delphine, with marketing your book. And I love that you said that in a sense, you found a niche, like you don't compete with those who write thick books. And I think that thought would be a comfort for our future authors and those who plan to write their second book as well. All right. So how has being an author changed your life?
Okay. Will I go, or Saga, you ready to go?
No, Carrie. Let's follow the order.
Okay. It looks like we're just going around, so that's cool. So it changed my life so much in that it opened up so many incredible connections. So like my second book is about regional entrepreneurs. So I live in the country, and I found that people were saying, but how can you grow an international business when you live in Dubbo, in this regional town in Australia, and where we have an airport and we have the internet, even back in 2004, and so that opened up so many places in Australia. And I was taken by another publisher, not the one I worked with, the one I worked with on my first book. She took me right around Australia to do, author summits like this. And the night before, we would do my Conversations with Entrepreneurs event. And so I was connecting with people on Facebook, and I was just saying, hey, I'm going to be in Perth. And people would come and would do these amazing Conversations with Entrepreneurs events, and that was just incredible. And then Do Talk to Strangers opened up so many conversations across Asia. This is the book that took me to the Philippines like 7 times in a few years.
Wow.
Because people just saw something that they resonated with. And in early 2015, I met a lady on a flight from Dubbo to Sydney, this country town to Sydney, and I just asked her, was she going to Sydney or further on? And she said Dubbo to Delhi. And she was going back home to her home in India, where she had been teaching English for 40 years. And we had this amazing conversation. And she said to me, you need to speak in India. And I was kind of shocked by that, because we often don't see our own possibilities. We might have one kind of dream, like, oh, maybe I could do this, maybe I could write a book. But we don't see where that's going to take us, and other people see things like that. And so she planted a seed, and it was actually just a few months later that I was invited to Singapore. And then that started opening up so many possibilities. And I saw that lady again just last month. She's actually moved from Delhi to Dubbo, where I live, which was extraordinary. I was able to tell her, I've been to India. I've spoken to like 6,000 people at least across India because of this book and because you planted that seed. So I just love that, getting a book out into the world is such an adventure. You don't know where it's going to go. You don't know the lives it's going to impact. And when I have a total stranger connect with me on Facebook, they've got no mutual friends, but they've found my book and they've written to say thank you because it's made an impact for them. That is just they're kind of rewards that you don't think about when you're getting the book out there. Like, people, that this person might read it, that this company you might be able to connect it with, but the ripple effect is far beyond what we can possibly see.
That's true. And it brings to mind what Sha always says, just write because you have a message and because you care.
Yeah.
And along those lines. And it's really not primarily about the profits, because those are the consequences. But as you mentioned, Carrie, it's really the unforeseen, unplanned impact. on other
Yeah.
people's lives, and it goes back to you as well. Let's mix
Yes.
it up a bit. Let's go to Delphine this time. Feel free to jump in, anyone.
Yeah. Yeah. So how has writing the book changed my life? So I would say that first of all, it made me burst the limiting belief that I have that I cannot write, I cannot speak well. And I actually planned a series of other books like 7 Aha Moments with my kids, 7 Insights. And in sharing my message, I realized that when I look at making an impact with other people, then this impact that they have, it comes back to me. And I never realized, like what Carrie mentioned earlier on, you never know what's the impact going to be. To have readers writing to tell me and say, I read this lesson, it so resonate with me. I cried when I read the stories. I wish I learned about these lessons when I was younger. I thank you so much for sharing that message with me. I think that alone was really impactful, but it also allows me to look at what else is possible, because I burst this limiting belief and I went on to co-author this other book. I was invited for this other book called Undefeated, moving from ordinary to extraordinary. And then I was just invited to co-author a book for entrepreneurs to share my entrepreneurial journey. And my story, I call it the entrepreneurship is equals the art of the art of purposeful creation. And art stands for acknowledge, R stands for respond, and T thrive. And I want to focus on thrive, which is to thrive is to help other people to thrive. When others thrive, we cannot help but thrive because we help them to thrive.
And I think that's the impact, one of the impacts of your books, Delphine. It encourages other people to thrive, and it goes both ways eventually.
Yes. And being invited to create, being invited to create content for other platforms on a global audience. So I really, I don't see such opportunities open before writing the book. So write the book, or you can talk it out. Talk your book out. Birth it.
Yes, just like what Sagar did. Talk it out. All right. And just a thought that popped into my head, because I know of another mom she's a Filipina, and actually she's very inspiring. Not just like you, Delphine, that you, and perhaps Carrie as well, that you find time to write books despite managing a family. And I just wanted to put that out there for other moms. So don't worry about being busy. Maybe Sagar as a dad, Sagar, right? Correct. If you want to put in some thoughts before we go to Sagar into that, how do you balance writing and your family life as well?
Well, I would say find pockets of time. Sometimes we realize that we have many interruptions, many disruptions in our life. And I wrote this article called Life Interruptions Equals to Life's Invitation. What is life inviting you to? And for me, being a Catholic, I would call it the Lord's invitation. What is the Lord inviting me to? So I take each and every moment to look at where is he taking me to? And for you, if you're a non-believer, you can ask, where is life taking you to? And then capture those nuggets of wisdom and expand on that. Because when you go deep, you realize that you have a lot more substance in you. Don't think yourself like, maybe I'm just a mother, I'm just this, I'm just a worker, and I'm just an office worker. You have a lot more wisdom in you. And if someone cares to sit in front with you and have a conversation and record that conversation, you'll realize that there are things that you have inside you that you didn't know you have. It's like we have 4 corners. You know what you know what you don't know what you know, and especially you don't know what you know. And you get someone to speak with you and draw out the essence and wisdom from you, you will have a book. So have a chat with me if you want to find out the part that you don't know what you know.
Right. So just send Delphine a message, everybody. Look for her in her social media. All right. Sagar, do you have any tips for how
Yeah,
to balance?
but before I answer to the question or the tips, I would love to take on the conversation with Delphin Share. To all the authors who are homemakers, always remember that you are the biggest management guru on this earth. You are already empowered because the Almighty has given you an empower to reproduce, which no other men can do that. So, number one, women are empowered. B, they are the biggest organizers, because have you seen any time a house being disorganized, a house where she would say, oh, today the food is not available because I forgot to cook? No, that's not fair. So, which means time management, women are the best. Organizing, they are the best. Customer service, they are the best. And even taking care of negotiations while they go on shopping, they are the best, which means you actually have everything as an homemaker, and they are the best managers. And I don't say it, but I've also had videos and sessions about it, because I believe that you have the power. It's just that you have to realize it. Forget about empowerment. Almighty has empowered you. Who else can empower you more than that? So to all the homemakers, I bow down and say that you already have everything in you. It's just that you need to trigger that.
Love that, Sagar.
And now to answer your question about what inspires me. See, writing a book should be bigger than your purpose, the purpose of your life. If your purpose is to change other people's life, if your purpose is to educate other people, if your purpose is to actually bring change, like Carrie and Delphine said, writing a book will become very easy. But if your purpose is to make money out of the book, if your purpose is to be big out of the book, if your purpose is to have branding out of the book, you will never be able to write the book, because you will always have the judging mind if you're writing a right book or not. So this is my message to everyone, that have a purpose bigger than your life when you're writing the book. And that inspired me also to write my second book, which is now very much liked by students and everyone, is because it talks about the productive mindset, and it's just written in a very simple format, like ABCD. So all the chapters, 26 chapters, are ABCD till Z. And after that, I've seen so many students getting inspired writing the book. I've got 11-year that I'm coaching writing a book. I've got an 8-year-old that who is inspired to write a book. And I mean, that inspires me, and I would love everyone to write the book about their experience, their thing. And anyone who has a heart and emotions can write a book.
All right. Carrie, did you want to shoot out any tips?
I feel like I've been dropping little bits and pieces everywhere. I'm just going to have a quick look at the questions, because this is also relevant to wherever we are as an author, because it doesn't matter if it's the first book or the second or the third or the fourth. Somebody mentioned the collaboration books, and this was something I think Delphine said, get somebody to get it out of you, and with this I've got Carrie Fitz with Jane Pelusi. So she was a friend in Western Australia who I met because of my previous book. So there's another amazing door that opened, and we're just talking about how I meet people and great things happen, and she was one of many people who asked me, well, how does this happen? How do you talk to strangers? And I'm like, we just have conversations, but they really made me think about it. And so, that was great advice from Delphine, to dig deep, to let other people ask you the questions and dig deep, because sometimes when it's something that we know, we don't know how to explain it. If you've been driving for a long time and someone gets in the car and they go, wow, you can just do this thing. How do you do that? And you're like, well, you just kind of get in and go. But there's steps, and there's processes, and we can become unconscious of that because we're just doing it all the time. But really allowing people into the space to ask you the questions and make sure that we're covering off on all the things. So I did a lot of, putting questions up on Facebook and asking people, like, tell me about a time where maybe you felt anxious and a stranger helped you out, or did you ever come across somebody who you wanted to help but you felt, oh, should I not intrude? So just the stories that that you can forget about, But when other people start sharing theirs, you go, yes, that's right. And then you can add your insight to what was actually going on there, because we just rush through life. We don't notice what's going on unless we are reflective, unless we have the conversations. And I think there's not a single one of my books, and I've done like 15 co-authored books. None of those books happen by one person. Whether the book is like mostly my content, I've still collaborated with others. I've still commented, and I've quoted them, and I've acknowledged them in the book. We don't do any of this alone, and don't feel like you need to. Whether it's putting up a poll on Facebook or LinkedIn, or actually sitting with other writers, or just sitting with friends and saying, can I just ask you some questions? Or can you just ask me some questions about things or tell me things that I don't see about myself and this topic that I'm writing about? What am I so comfortable with that I don't see it as valuable to explain? Does that make sense? I can see a few nodding heads. So
yes, definitely. It really harkens back to what Delphine said, that we have to go and dig deep. And I also like what you said, Carrie, that reflection nowadays is, sometimes people think that they don't have time, but we need to make time.
Yes.
We need to make time for reflection. Well,
and daily,
to add on to that, if you think that you don't have time, then ask yourself, how much time do I have? And then make the best use of that time that you have.
Yes.
And that sounds like, go ahead, Carrie. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's hearing yourself think. When you say, I don't, then ask yourself, what do I? So, I don't have time. What do I have time for? I can't. Well, what can I do? And how can I? When the door closes on our thinking, when we say those things, like I can't, or it's not possible, our creativity shuts down. So we need to ask, well, how could it be possible? And then your brain starts finding the answers. So just notice that conversation in your head and switch it to like, what if I just found 10 minutes a day to just jot some thoughts down? And I think, the daily journaling, or, frequent journaling, might not be every morning, it might not be every night, but I always carry a book with me, and I've got my notes in my phone. It's a ridiculous number of notes in my phone that I might have just spoken and seen the text come out, or the audio where I've just recorded a conversation with myself or with someone else, or my journal where I'm actually writing things down. And then we can just start reviewing it and go, oh, that's really good. I should share that. And
this
if you
is like
notice,
productivity ambassadors giving advices of different productivity tips, and I'm just enjoying nodding my head.
I could see you smile, Sagars. I was like, this is right up Sagars' alley. All right. And I think this is a good segue to let's go to some questions of the viewers. So let's take a look at this. As a first-time author, do you also experience the difficulty on how to price their books? Did you experience that, finalists, on how to price your first book?
Yeah, I commented on this earlier. So, Saga, Delphine, take it away. What did you do in your countries?
Maybe I'll just...
Yeah, go on.
Go ahead.
Well, I would say that it is your book. You have the authority. Make it up. Find what works for you. What's good for you. What feels good for you. And sometimes we're always looking and benchmarking other people. How about, there's this quote that I really like, which is, be careful of following the mess. Because sometimes the M is silent.
Oh.
So while people zig, you zag.
Yes.
While people zig, you zag. Be the one to revolutionize things for yourself and stop following others, and stand up for yourself and do something that you feel good about, and not let, what's the norm of doing things to keep you down.
I love that.
So, Kate, I would love to answer the question which is there on the chat box, which says, do you have to hire an editor, or do you do to self-editing? Because I will give an example to everyone that the book is something which you carry everywhere with you like this. it's something which is very close to your heart. It's like a baby to you. Would you like your baby to be shabby, undressed, or partly dressed? No. If you want your baby to be cute and nice, get them nice clothes, get them good stuff, get them good makeup, get them good grooming things. And for that you need editors, you need cover designers, you need professionals. So don't ever think of doing it self-editing, because a person who has written an exam cannot check their own paper. You need a teacher, you need someone else to check the paper. So do that. And please, please, please get an editor, because that will be your thing that you will carry for your life. And if it is not a good book, you will not be able to confident. So connect with confidence by getting an editor on board.
Yeah, that's gold. I love the way you've described that, like as your child, and you want it to be well dressed and beautiful and sent out into the world well presented. And that is such a great illustration. So, so important.
All right. So please do hire, or if you have a friend that's an editor, feel free to reach out, and again, connect with confidence with them, and know that you're enough, right? Put aside the negative thoughts and know that you're enough.
Yeah, I do have a different view though to Saga. Yeah,
sure.
This is the part where I zig and yeah. So I, a lot of aspiring authors out there, they might be thinking, oh, I have to do this, I have to do that, I have to do this, I have to do that. And then they let all these other things talk them out of writing that book. So the thing is, I will encourage you is take the first step. Sometimes the step 2 doesn't appear until you take the first step. So when I finished writing my book, I actually got my daughter, who's really good in her language, to edit for me. First of all, it's not a business book. It's meant to be a very conversational kind of book, something that is simple, something that is simple for people to understand. I'm not saying that it's as easy as ABC, but it's simple yet it's impactful and it's profound. And I remember this quote that I read is, if you write something and a 5-year-old cannot understand, then you have to rethink about what you write. And if my book is meant for the mass, then it's got to be simple enough for them to read. And then if they read again, they will discover a deeper layer. It's like wine. You slowly sip, and the more you drink, the richer it becomes. So as I mentioned, it's also a journal. So you actually get to deepen that journal and enrich your journey as a mother or as a person, because these are life lessons for you to learn. Yeah.
I love that. And I'd like to add my second book, the Entrepreneur's book, was when my son was 9 years old. And I was working with a publisher, and they had an editing team, and the book had been edited, but it was so poorly edited. And I said to my son, you edit this, and I'll pay you 10 cents for every mistake you find. Well, I tell you what, maybe I priced that a little high, because he found so many mistakes. It was crazy. But it's a really good point, Delphine, because, your kids are, especially if they've got a good teacher who's helping them to really pay attention to words, they're reading it. And if they've got an incentive, just work out that for your own, budget and economy. But they can find errors that other people wouldn't. And I would also say have multiple eyes on your book. So you might, sometimes you'll see on Facebook, somebody will say, and I used to do this all the time. Like, I'm writing an article. Does anyone want to read it before I send it to the editor? And people just go, yes, I'd love to. But also be careful with that, because some people, they just want the goss. They just want to know what's the gossip. They're not actually invested in giving you quality feedback. So someone who you feel safe with to, and give them some guidance. What is it that you're looking for? Because they might just be reading it from their own opinion. So if Delphine had, maybe a young friend who's not a mum yet, they might read it and then with their worldview start criticizing it. And that can be really crushing. So we need to be careful who we share things with and just let them know what is it that you're looking for. Like, are you really good with finding spelling errors? Are you really good at, because you can't look at a book for everything at once. If you're looking at it from a layout perspective and going, are all the paragraphs correct? Are the page numbers correct? You're not going to pick up the spelling errors in the same view through the book. And our eyes start to get used to seeing what we think is supposed to be there. So often the first part of a book can be so beautifully edited, and you get towards the end and then all these mistakes start falling out. It's because people have just been reading from the beginning to the end, and they might have done that multiple times. So another tip is, when you're editing, go to the back of the book, read the back page, maybe even read paragraph by paragraph from the bottom of the page up, when you think that it's perfect. So leave it to when you think it's perfect, then go and read backwards, paragraph by paragraph or page by page, and that's where you go, oh my gosh, how did that word get in there? They might say, connect with confidence. You're like, how is there an extra word? But it happens. You just jump in there. So yeah, do that review backwards and forwards and involve other people in the process.
I think those are great tips for first-time authors. And there's another question that we were sent. The audience member said, there is a famous line that goes, the beginning is always the hardest. How are you able to surpass the beginning? And how are you
Can
able
I
to
take that
surpass
question?
Yes, Sagar, go ahead.
Okay. I'll take that question because I faced that problem and I know how it's a solution, because when I'm writing the second book. So the problem with the beginning is we have a lot of ideas, we have a lot of emotions, we have a lot of energy that we want to put in the book, but we don't know where to start. And that's where it becomes overwhelming. What should I write? The first thing. So from the first book, I learned a lesson that everything that I want to write, I put it on a piece of paper, small chits of paper, and paste it on the wall in front of me. It's like a visual mind map that I do, not on the computer, but I write it with my hands. The reason why I write it with my hands is because when I'm writing, I'm actually reading it, writing it with my hand. Again, when I'm reading it, I'm listening it with my ears. So I'm using all the kinesthetics that indicates and sends a signal to my brain that, okay, this is what I want to write. And once I've written that on the wall, I pick the things which I want to club. I delete the things which I don't want to say. And then I start writing, because once I've done that visual mind map in front of me, and that lies right in front of my bed. So every time I wake up, it's there. Every time I sleep, it's there. So it actually keeps reflecting in you. And like Kerry said, when you finish it, you go back and you start reading, or you back and writing. Some things that I would have said, I delete it. I don't take out those pages. After some time, those pages also tend to fit in. So that's the easiest way to start with. Forget about everything that you want to write. Just write the lessons, the purpose, the mission, the things that you want to put as a message in that book. Stick it on the wall and it will emerge.
So focus on the essence. Carrie.
Yeah, that is great. Just give me the question again, because I've been reading all the comments on the side.
Oh, sure. Hold on. There's a famous line that goes, the beginning is always the hardest. How are you able to surpass the beginning? There you go.
I think, well, in a number of instances, I've made an announcement and then I'm committed. So this one was the most challenging. So the Do Talk to Strangers travel toolkit. This is me in Singapore. I was talking to a few friends and they're saying, like, when are you going to do another book? It's about time. And I'm like, yeah. And then I was in Sydney a couple of days later and I was talking to a friend. I was speaking at her college to students from around, I think there was 28, 30 different countries represented in the room. And it was like a month before I was speaking in Singapore. And so all these ideas came together and I went, if I wrote a book and I could launch it in Singapore and then I can come back here and launch it here in Sydney. And she's like, yes, and because everyone gets excited. So I announced it to the whole class on Facebook Live. Like, I was in the room with these people, but we were doing a Facebook Live of the session. And I just went, you know what? I'm going to write the travel toolkit and I'm going to launch it at the HR Summit in Singapore with like thousands of people, because Do Talk to Strangers had been like the biggest seller the year before. And I'm like, there's an opportunity. So I think sometimes excitement, just committing to it, saying, I'm going to do this. And you know what? I came home from Sydney the next morning and I felt sick to my stomach. I'm like, what have I done? What on earth? Like, I've got 3 weeks literally to get it written, laid out. And, you know, I had a great team in the Philippines, a designer here in Dubbo, but I had to write it. And I felt like I had nothing. But I let that, you know, excitement of other people kind of carry me forward, and the commitment that I'd made. And we did it. It arrived at the summit in Singapore, straight from the printers on the first day of the summit. Whew. But yeah, having a tight deadline can help.
Congratulations. That's 3 weeks.
Thank you.
From zero to a full launch, right, Carrie?
Yeah, which is actually what happened with my first journal. But as I said, my journal was like 1 chapter. You know, this is like going through the asking model. I didn't want it to be a repeat of the other book. I wanted it to be all travel stories. And also, I was messaging friends who had shared some great stories with me. Cohen Tan, who's a friend of Shah's also, and Saga's in Singapore. And I'm like, Cohen, you've always got great talking to stranger stories. Tell me your travel stories. And so there's a little section in the back with, you know, Rob Salisbury's stories, Cohen Tan's. And so again, it's like collaboration. But yeah, making it public, telling people like, I'm actually going to start writing this weekend. And they'll probably say something to you like, why not today? Start tonight. And you're like, okay, make yourself accountable to people. Share with people like, I'm doing this. I'm just going to knock out 500 words this week. Today. Let's just do it today. Let's just do it.
All right. Delphine.
Well, there's a quote that says, a journey of 1,000 miles start with the first step. So if you look at a book, it's made of quite a few chapters. But if you look at the chapters, it's made up of a few paragraphs. If you look at a few paragraphs, it's made out of a few lines. And if you look at a line, it's made out of a few words. So start writing that first word. And for me, it's because it's 7 lessons. So 1 lesson, what's the story? What's the message? So to aspiring authors out there, ask yourself, what is the message? Let's say you have a message. This is the message. Use a post-it note. Use green color, for example. Like green is, this is my message. You know, perhaps it could be, my feelings are my friends, for example. And and then what is the story? What is the story that you can use for that one? And you use, perhaps you can use a blue sticky notes and say, this is my story. And there's another story. And then you choose which story you want to use. Use sticky notes, like I said, what's the message? Green sticky note. What are the stories? And perhaps you want to ask questions, because very often it's very much one way. What if it's an invitation, a collaboration with your so-called collaboration with your reader? Ask them questions so it becomes, you get them engaged, and engagement, connection is so important. Facts inform. Stories connect. So when you are able to tell your stories, they are able to connect with you. Like Carrie Phipps said, connect with confidence, and people will forget what you say, but they will never forget how you make them feel. How do your stories make them feel? Do they feel touched? And that's when they will remember you. You know, she wrote that lesson, and that's lesson so resonate with me, and it made me cry. And one of my lessons in my child was, you know, about forgiveness. And I learned from my son, who was just below 10 years old. And I have friends and readers who wrote to me and said, thank you so much, because it made them cry. And the other thing is, get yourself out of the way, because we're so used to judging ourselves, and we look at ourselves and our stories like, will it make an impact? No, do not let yourself be a judge. Let other people tell you how they feel about your book. Because if we judge ourselves all the time, our stories will never get out.
Yes.
Oh, wow. How wonderful. And so that's confidence. The audience have tips for productivity, you know, pockets of time. And I think just to add, if you feel, you know, like you go into a slump, it's important to have resilience as well. So grit and resilience. So for those tips, so you can go to Delphine as well. All right, so well, actually it's 4 o'clock, so we have to end now. But our last question for the authors in 30 seconds: if you were to share a message to the world, what would it be?
Saga.
Okay. I'll just take 30 seconds or less. Nature has everything in abundance. Learn to channelize it. And this is a message from my mother. But remember, abundance should not be greed.
All right, Delphine, Carrie, take it away. Whoever wants to go.
Delphine.
Well, I would say that, a lot of times our stories are meant to connect with people. It's about exploring our feelings. So go deep into your feelings and make friends with your feelings. Because every feeling has a message and every feeling has a gift. Even the uncomfortable ones, especially the uncomfortable one. So share that.
Love
That's
that.
so beautiful. And I just want to acknowledge Imelda's comment here. She's just nailed what Delphine was sharing. Stories connect people. Share the message with confidence. Ask how your readers feel about your book. She's picked up lots of great tips from all of us, I think.
Yes.
That's on YouTube. So I want to share, and this is why I wrote this book. So I want to say, this is how to, but I want to say, please talk to strangers. Please connect with those around you, strangers, friends, and family, because you can decrease anxiety, your own and others. Don't we need that? You can build confidence in yourself and in others, which is so important. And you can make a bigger difference in the world, a bigger difference than you can possibly imagine. And the theme of that is you make a bigger difference than you know. All those ripple effects are behind you. You don't see them, but you are making a powerful difference with all of the words that you are sharing. So thank you for being here today. Thank you for sharing your words with the world. Whether it's just a blog at this stage or an article, put it in the book, get it out there.
Yay, that's great. So I think our viewers have a lot to mull over, to reflect on, and hopefully tomorrow or by tonight they start writing their books and get someone that you can be accountable to. So thank you very much, Carrie, Delphine, and Sagar, for being here with us and gracing our viewers with your wisdom and also with your presence. So to everyone, to our audience, if you want to be part of Sha's Tuesday email newsletter, this is for free. Just go to shanacino.com/dreams. Again, just go to shanacino.com/dreams, and we'll see the other authors who will be graduating today in a bit. Thank you, everyone, for joining us for the panel discussion.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Look forward to connecting with all of you.
Yes. All right. So again, if you want to have inspiring messages from Sha Nacino, go to shanacino.com/dreams so that you can receive Sha's Tuesday email newsletters. And I think we're about to bring in Justin, right? So that I'm not so alone in the screen. Hi, Justin.
Hello, Kat. That was a really amazing, powerful panel discussion. Amazing, amazing. Thank you for all our guests.
Yes, that's true. And so, Justin, being an author yourself, I'd like to ask you, what's your main takeaway from the panel discussion?
Oh my gosh. I have like 3 pages of notes that I have written while listening, and I have to choose a few. Okay. But I think the biggest one that is most alive for me right now is about the ripple effect that we have for other with the lives of other people. Like, we really don't know how much of a difference we make to other people. So it's really important that we need to be intentional with how we are sharing our message. And by sharing our message, it's not just with our books, but also with how we are living our lives. And I feel like, yes, and another thing, just like Sha said, like if you have a message to share and if you care, like that is a reason enough to really write a book. And you know, in the books, lots of books, there are lots of books already written, and some of the books, they have the same message. But I
Yes.
really believe that there are people who are meant to receive that message, that same message, but they have to hear it from you. So
That's
that's why it's
true.
really important that if you have that calling, if you feel that you're being called to write a book, then follow that calling because someone is meant to be blessed by your story. So, yeah.
There, and I think that will be helpful for first time authors as well when our panelists pointed out that we should park our negative thoughts, no? Because somebody, as you said, Justin, specifically your voice, audience members, first time authors, your voice is needed in the world. All right, and I think we're going to our batch 2 of authors. So Justin, take it away.
All right. Thank you so much, Kat. Again, that was a very amazing panel discussion. And now to continue our summit, let's begin with our next set of authors who will share their life journeys and stories of faith. So first, for our second batch, we have author Carmencita Mijares-Africa. Carmencita graduated from Maryknoll College and UP. She taught at Miriam College, the La Salle, and Our Lady of Fatima University Graduate School. She was the Dean of the Graduate School of the Pamantasan ng Makati and the College of Education and Vice President for Academic Affairs of the College de Santa Teresa de Avila. She also worked at Philippine Coconut Authority as manager in HR. She is Senior Vice President of the GSP FFI and Central Board Member of the Girl Scouts of the Philippines. Her mission is to do God's will by serving Him and His people. Everyone, let's welcome author Carmencita Mijares-Africa.
I am Dr. Carmencita Mijares-Africa, an educator by profession, but recently an author. After finishing the 90-day book writing challenge sponsored by Nacino, our coach and author herself. What inspired me to write a book was the effect of the pandemic, which caused the loss of many lives, and the pain and suffering experienced by families who lost their loved ones during that period. I too lost a loved one, a 27-year-old son. Many years ago, he was diagnosed with sepsis, a deadly disease which caused his sudden death. The loss of my son was the most painful experience that I had to endure, and it grieved my heart. It took several years, about 3 years, before I was able to get over my grief, let go of the pain, and move on with my life. Moving on was not easy, but I was able to overcome my grief when I turned and surrendered myself to God and to Mama Mary, who comforted me and helped me to live life in peace together with the support of my family and friends. If you are grieving because of the loss of a loved one, this book will help you overcome your grief and move on with your life, as there are healthy ways to ease your pain. Start to look to the future and give you strength to carry your cross and the courage to live in love with gratitude in your heart. Let me express my gratitude to the 90-day book writing challenge and Miss Nacino, who helped me write and finish the book, and the modules provided that serve as guide in writing this book. Lastly, let me invite those interested in my book to grab a copy using the link appearing below this page. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing your very personal story of overcoming your grief, author Carmencita. I'm sure that a lot of people will be blessed by your book, especially since, grief is a part of life, right? Especially if we lose someone, if we lose something, it really is important for us to learn how to cope in healthy ways, how to cope with grief. And as you shared in your book, I'm sure that a lot of people will find great value on how they can also overcome their grief and move on through the grace of God. Thank you so much, author Carmencita. And next up, our author is Lian Pangilinan Carreon, a community volunteer, Sunday school teacher in her hometown for 15 years. She was a former account executive in a marketing services firm in Manila and later became part of a marketing team in a manufacturing company in Pampanga. She was once a hopeful mom-to-be, an APAS warrior, and now a happy homemaker, a mom-to-be to her first baby, Isla. A mom to her first baby, Isla, and her fur baby, Snow. So let's call on author Lian.
My husband and I's fertility journey was a series of heartbreak after another heartbreak, from having negative PT results despite expensive medical treatments to experiencing recurring miscarriages. Honestly, I almost gave up. But whenever I hear stories from fellow fertility warriors who experienced worse and yet chose to remain hopeful, I find the courage to hang on and continue to move forward with the journey. These brave warriors inspired me to keep going. That is why it is also my hope that through my book, I will also become an instrument of hope to reach and inspire more people who are in the same shoes as ours, or even those who experience worse. My book, Hopeful, The Journey of a Woman Struggling to Have a Baby, is about stories of heartbreaks, breakthroughs, and all the lessons that I learned while waiting to have a baby. This book shares my personal testimony on how God worked in every seasons of my life. Seasons of heartbreaks, seasons of joy, seasons of blessings, even on seasons of struggles when I already don't know which road to go while waiting to have a baby. If you too are in the waiting season, if you're still in that season of waiting, may this book speak to your heart and allow you to appreciate your own unique journey. May you feel that you are never alone in this battle, so continue to remain hopeful. I won't be here right now sharing my message without the support of our coach, our mentor, Nacino, and the whole team behind Write University's 90-Day Book Writing Challenge. They actually helped me manage the phase of writing my thoughts into this book. Thank you, Coach Sha and the whole team of Write University for your guidance. Thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to share my message. My story is just one of the many stories about the journey of a woman struggling to have a baby. If you are still in your waiting season, I actually don't know the entire story of your fertility journey. I may not know all the silent battles that you have been through, but there's one thing I know. Someone up there hasn't forgotten you. You are never forgotten. If in one way or another, my story has made a connection with you, join me as we talk about the journey of what most couples are silently going through. You may avail my book at Shopee, or you may reach me through the following accounts. Again, thank you so much. This is Lian Pangilinan Carreon, once a hopeful mom-to-be, an APAS warrior, and now a happy homemaker and a mother to our rainbow miracle baby. Thank you so much, and God bless.
Thank you so much for sharing your story, author Lian. Thank you for sharing your stories of heartbreak, breakthroughs, and lessons learned during your waiting season. And I love what you said about we are really never alone in our journey. So it's really important to hear this message, especially if we are going through those difficult times, those challenging times, and those waiting season times. I'm sure that many people will be blessed by your story as well, author Lian. So again, for those who are interested to buy her book, please check out the comment section to learn how you can buy the book. All right. And now, before that, I want to congratulate you, author Lian, for being a first-time mom, not only to your Rainbow Miracle baby, but also to your first book. All right. Congratulations, author Lian. All right. Our next author is a registered chemist by profession and a perennial student of life. Her diverse and multicultural corporate life, including a decade in Indonesia, enriched her experiences, leading to her desire to be an author someday. She longs to be able to inspire others in their journey of faith, hope, love, and joy through her life stories. She now engages in supporting non-government organizations with various leadership capabilities. She loves traveling and music. Everyone, let's welcome author CORA SANICO.
Greetings. Pablo Neruda's Ode to the Book says, "When I close a book, I open a life." Inspirations from life stories that I've read impacted my life that made book writing as one of my life's goals. I believe that books are lasting and meaningful legacy. When I saw the video ad of Miss Nacino about the 90 Days Book Writing Challenge, my curiosity and excitement led me to enroll in the course, where I learned the A to Z comprehensive guide on how to write a book, even if I'm not a writer. Miss Xia selflessly shared her insights, learnings, and tips from her very own book writing experiences. Her optimism, inspiration, and motivation encouraged me to press on to pursue my writing goals. And so, because of that, I was able to now write my first book, which is entitled Dear Breast Friends. This 9-chapter book is about finding hope and strength when one faced breast cancer as one of life's wilderness experience. Like COVID, breast cancer, battle is real. How to ride the tide from diagnosis to finding a new beginning with practical tips on therapy treatments were narrated in this book. As a recipient of God's grace, love, and healing, from whom I anchor my hope and strength through faith, I am compelled to pass it on to anyone who meets a lump on the road. So this book is my gift of hope to all cancer warriors out there, as well as their families and friends. And hope you find this book also hopeful as a gift to those people battling breast cancer. May you keep that spark of hope in your heart as you find strength in God, for the best is yet to come. This book is now available in ebook. Printed copies will be available soon. You can contact me for more details through my email at corachica@gmail.com. This is Cora SANICO thanking you, and may the Lord bless you. Bye!
Thank you so much for sharing your gift of hope, author Cora. That was really inspiring, and I'm sure a lot of people who are also experiencing the same battles, who are facing the same battles of having breast cancer and other kinds of cancers as well, will be able to relate with your stories and find hope with your testimony. You know, lot of people think that when they get a diagnosis of cancer, that it is a life sentence. But what author Cora is saying is that it's actually not a death sentence, but a chance to live your life anew. So everyone, if you resonate and if you want to buy a copy of author Cora's books, just check out the comment section. All right. So now we go to our next author. DACE LASARA is a preacher's wife, teacher, Bible woman, discipler, writer, and soon-to-be mom. She finished her bachelor's degree in hotel and restaurant management, and despite her promising job in a hotel and fine dining restaurant in Vietnam, her heart is in ministry. She graduated in theology from Bible Baptist Seminary and Institute in Iloilo City and taught in a Christian mission school in Vietnam. The pandemic has led her back home, where she currently works from home. It is her passion to share the gospel and inspire her fellow Christians. Everyone, let's welcome Author Dace.
Hello, everyone. I'm Dace LASARA. I'm a preacher's wife, a teacher by heart, and a soon-to-be mom of our little one. Since I was young, it has been my dream to become a writer or an author. I love reading books, and I used to write in our school publication when I was studying. I thought at first that reading books and writing are just my hobbies, but eventually I realized that they are what I really want to do in my life. I want to write, I want to become an author. My spiritual gift is to encourage others, to teach, to inspire, to motivate, and I long to serve God in this way through writing books. And this is what inspired me to join this book writing challenge to unlock my great potential in writing. My book is titled Prose, Prayer, and Poetry. It is a collection of my own creative ideas in poetry, random thoughts, quotes, letters, prayers, and short Christian articles that I have written over time from my own meditation and personal testimony. The book writing challenge has really helped me a lot to push me to write a book. It gave me a sense of accountability. So I got distracted with so many things in my life that I have lost focus to pursue my dreams, and this opportunity has put me back on track. I'm currently pregnant with our first baby, and this week I'm about to give birth. So this month alone, I am unlocking two great milestones in my life. The milestones to motherhood and becoming a published author finally. And I'm ecstatic. It's a dream come true for me to finally launch my first book, and I'm so excited to write more. I invite you all to grab a copy of my ebook, Prose, Prayers, and Poetry. You may take a screenshot of the link to my order form, or you can also send me an email at authordays@gmail.com. Thank you so much, everyone, and to Miss Nacino and to her team for this great opportunity. To God be the glory, and God bless you all.
All right, we have another first-time mother and published author. Congratulations, Author Days. And thank you for your heart of service and for touching the lives of those you are serving. And I'm sure that your book will bless even more lives to continue your ministry. Thank you so much. And our next author is Sister Amor M. Dapunan. Sister Amor is a registered guidance counselor, licensed professional teacher, and a member of the Congregation of the Sisters of Saint Francis of Perpetual Adoration, OSF, Philippines. Her congregation participates in the mission of the Roman Catholic Church by living the gospel after the example of Saint Francis of Assisi and their foundress, Blessed Maria Theresia Bonzel. They strive to combine contemplative life with the active through perpetual adoration and the works of mercy in education, healthcare, and other ecclesial ministries. She believes that a person with a story is a potential storyteller. To share more of her story, let's call on Sister Amor.
What would you like to receive as a gift if given a chance, and why? What is your heart's deepest desire? Almost 25 years ago, I received the gift of my religious vocation. And in 2021, I got inspired as we celebrate the 500 years of Christianity in the Philippines with the theme Gifted to Give. Filled with much gratitude to God for the gift of the Christian faith, which we received and have kept throughout these years, I feel privileged to share with you my vocation story. This book is for you for two reasons. First, in testimony to the Holy Spirit as the giver of gifts. Second, to have some glimpses of what religious life is all about. With the 90-day book writing challenge, and as a neophyte author, writing a personal account was the easiest thing to do. The inspiration just moved in freely and has fired me up until now when I am launching my book. I am truly grateful to Miss Nacino, who taught me how to write the book. Truly, her mentorship and influence will last a lifetime. Likewise to her team at Wright University. How to grab a copy of my book? Check it now on LASARA and Shopee Philippines. Thank you, and may you receive the gift your heart deeply desires.
All right. Thank you so much, Sister Author Amor, for sharing your vocation story with us. I'm sure that many people are curious about what the religious life is all about. So thank you for sharing that, Sister Amor. All right. And for the last author for the second batch, we have author M.A. Canceran. M.A. Canceran earned his degree at UP Los Baños. He was an OFW for more than 2 decades until 2019. While in Saudi Arabia, Canceran received his certificate as a published writer from the Writers' Bureau, a correspondence school based in Manchester, England. For several years, he was a contributing writer to the Saudi Gazette, Saudi Arabia's first English language daily. He is also a member of Toastmasters International, finished a course in pastoral theology, and has been actively involved in the church. You may reach him at macanceran@yahoo.com. Author M.A., come on stage.
William James, the great American philosopher, once said, "The great use of life is to spend it for something that will outlast it." That inspired me to write the manuscript that I have long wanted to pen. And so, the best-selling book entitled Am I Still Loved is born. It is a book about finding hope in the midst of pains and struggles of human existence through the glorious love God has for you, that however broken you may be, you will be assured of the boundless redeeming love God has for you, that his intrinsic, stupendous, amazing love will see you through every step of the way. And I sincerely believe that as you flip through the pages of this book, you will be encouraged, you will be inspired, and most of all, you will be transformed to become the person God wants you to be. Thanks to the Book Writing Challenge, to Nacino and her team for the coaching and mentoring, this dream has become a reality. So what are you waiting for? Grab a copy of this book through the link that you see below, and together, let's spread the love of God and make this world a better place.
Amen to that. Yes, let's spread love. Thank you so much, author MA, for sharing your book and story to the world. And that's it for the second batch of our authors.
Hi, Justin.
Hello,
Welcome back to
Kat.
me.
Yes, welcome back.
All right. So that's around how many authors already?
If my math is correct, we already have 13 authors.
All right. Okay. So we have a few more. A third batch. All right.
Yes.
What else? So I just shared to some of these authors. I was also able to correspond via the Wright University email last year. And so I'm just happy to see the faces behind my correspondences with them. And so I wish them, and those, of course, I have not, communicated with. I wish you all the best. And Wright University is so proud that you are graduating today. And so we had two games before, and so we have our third game for you. So for the audience members who are still here, these are the game mechanics. Just to check if you are still with us, or if you were with us from the very beginning. Comment the title of the song Siya sang after her message. So type it in the comment section below. There will be two winners, and the prize will be the Money and Me ebook of Siya. And so before we proceed to our third batch, I'd like to, I think I need this also. I'd like to request you to, let's do some stretching. So stand up if you are seated. Okay. Stand up and just stretch out your arms to the left and the right. Hold them up high. Just kidding. So clean and bright. All right. And then maybe just stretch towards the left. Because we need this. We've been sitting for almost 3 hours. At least I have. What about you, Justin?
Yeah, actually, I'm standing right now, so I've been standing for that time.
Okay, now I won't sit down now, so I will stand with you. So I hope continue to do some stretches, audiences, if you want. Some of you, if you prefer, you can sit down already. So the third game, as I mentioned earlier. So what's the title of the song that Char sang after her opening remarks? So just type it down in the chat. We will have two winners, and the prize will be the Money and Me ebook of Nacino. Okay, so we hope many of you are still with us. We're almost at the end of our launch. And earlier, we also asked you about your most favorite book of all. This time, dear audience members, if you were to write a book now, what topic would you like to write about? So just comment them in the chat. Justin, is there a second book in your mind, or at least a second topic right now?
Oh, interesting question. Maybe something about I don't know, self-love or flowing with life.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
That's nice. So at least you have some topics in mind. And so
Yes,
let's see if some of our audience members have The Art of Service, Marian says. And then Ira, Ant Life. Ira, just to confirm, ant as in the ant. Cross. All right. Okay. Okay. Marian changed hers into Heart of Service. Cora says a travel book. Mine, Gina says mine. Don't go there. Okay, but not finance. That would be interesting to read. And one more, I want to write about the challenges of a teacher. who teaches.
Mm,
Oh, yes. And
yes.
I think that book, Philomena, will be very much needed. I think a lot of people will would like to read that if if you pursue that. And I think I just saw Carrie message in the comment, and so this is reminding me, if you guys, maybe you can also commit, those who typed in the chat, maybe this topic further explore, and perhaps decide to commit to write. Okay. And if you want to be part of Sha's Tuesday email newsletter, this is for free. Just go to shanacino.com/dreams. Just go to shanacino.com/dreams. And now let's go to our last batch of authors. Our last batch of speakers will talk about, no, rather, authors will talk about painting, boxing, finance, being a doctor, a teacher, and a hero. So let's go to our first author. Ira Dailo earned her social sciences degree from UP Baguio and her doctorate in educational management from President Ramon Magsaysay State University. She was awarded a Doctor of Humanities in Social Work honoris causa by the Theophany University, the Republic of Haiti, and the winner of the 2021 Gwangju, that's from Korea, Democracy Challenge for the 2D painting titled My Peace I Give You. And upon retirement, she continued to volunteer for Buklod and the Philippines Against Child Trafficking. Yes, Philippines Against Child Trafficking in Olongapo. Author Ira, come on down.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is author Ira, and I was inspired to write my ebook titled Just Jump: 6 Life Lessons I Learned from Painting because of an article that was sent to me by a friend. It was Francis Kong's article about another article by Cindy Lar titled Lessons from Both. I was age 51 when I decided to retire from public school work and to pick up the paintbrush and do full-time painting at home. Yep, you guessed it right. It was the start of the pandemic, and ironically, I did not have any training on painting then. Just the same, I decided to just jump into the retirement world. Let me share with you a photo of the cover page of my book. So the book is titled Just Jump: 6 Lessons I Learned from Painting. It's actually a very easy read, 44 pages in all. Included in the book are 60 plus photos of my artworks. Some are paintings from I did on canvas. There are also bayongtings or paintings on basket. There are also mixed media paintings there and doodles. I decided to write this ebook specifically for retirees, although all of us sooner or later, or maybe now, will in one way or another be retirees. So 4 of the lessons I discussed in the book are: one is find your purpose, second is laugh out louder, third is hold hands with fear, and fourth is live smarter. Thank you for listening, and thank you in advance for buying my ebook titled Just Jump: 6 Life Lessons I Learned from Painting. This is available on Amazon Kindle, and I'm also extending my appreciation to Nacino and the team for facilitating the accomplishment of our dreams. I pray that you will also be buying the books of other authors presenting today. Again, thank you.
Thank you, Author Ira, for generously sharing the lessons you've learned from your experiences. And I also like what Author Ira said, that the authors here support each other. And so we hope that if you haven't clicked on the book or the author's book that's resonating with you, please look through the comment sections and just click it. And who knows, the book will really speak to you, to something that you are challenged with. Now let's go to our second author for the third batch. Bobby Bridges won a few championships as an amateur boxer during his enlistment in the US Navy. He'd eventually become a licensed boxing judge and referee, a boxing seminar speaker, and was awarded the 2018 Ring Official of the Year by the World Boxing Council. Recently, he became a member of the Ring Officials Committee for the WBC, Asian Boxing Council. Bobby also engaged in many charitable advocacies and eventually was among the recipients of the 2020 WBC's Hero of Humanity Award. You may reach him via email at kungfuman74@yahoo.com. So that's kungfuman@yahoo.com. Let's welcome author Bobby.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for attending this book launch. My name is Bobby Bridges. I'm 48 years of age, and I'm a professional boxing judge and referee. I'd like to take the time to thank my family, friends, everyone within the sport of boxing, and of course to Nacino and Wright University for having made it possible for me to have written this book. When I'd begun writing this book, I realized that as a boxing official, it's been nearly 2 years since I've officiated a fight, and I've missed it dearly due to this COVID pandemic. That must have also been the case for many of my fellow ring officials here in the Philippines, as well as scores of many others all over the world. So, I decided that instead of letting the drastic changes of this world to further get the better of me, it was time for me to make better use of this time by preparing a tribute to the sport of boxing by writing such a book that has never been written before. My book, Professional Boxing, Legends, Adventures, and Success, contains substantial amounts of information on boxing, not limited to its historical and traditional roots and its evolution, but also the many accounts based on my own personal experiences as a boxer and as a ring official. As over the years, I've had so many people ask me what it's like being involved in the sport in such capacities as well as it takes to be a fighter or a ring official. For those who reads the book, it's my sincere wish, no matter who you are, regardless of your background, career, whichever path in life that you choose or are on, to enjoy reading and to take positive things out of anything that I've presented as to not only towards success in your career, but to help you improve as an individual, to take the life lessons into your heart that's revealed within each chapter. The book also serves as my personal appreciation and overall dedication to boxing, the sport which I really love so much since the very early years of my youth. What makes the sport of boxing so vastly unique and intriguing is that anything can and has happened within that squared circle, as is the case of life itself. You may find my book on Amazon.com, or you may reach me personally at my email, which is kungfuman74@yahoo.com. Thank you so much, and God bless us all.
Thank you, author Bobby, for paying tribute to the sports of boxing and for sharing your rich experiences through your book. Now let's go to author Doc Jervs. Jervy earned her Doctor of Medicine degree in 2019 from Remedios Trinidad Romualdez Medical Foundation in Tacloban City. Then, she completed another year of a postgraduate internship at UPPGH, Manila, where she developed and enhanced her knowledge and skills in delivering patient care. She is an ambivert who loves to write in her quiet time and joins local civic organizations when time permits. Audacious, optimist, goal-oriented, fun-loving, time-focused. She lives by the mantra, life's full of what-ifs when all you do is stare, take risks instead, and witness for yourself. Doc Jervs, welcome.
Good day, everyone. This is Dr. Jervy. Writing about something like experiences, grief, happiness, and other emotions offer a way to communicate to others something which you feel is too complicated or difficult for you to say directly. Writing encourages people to choose their words, metaphors, and images in a way that really captures what they're trying to convey to others. As Anais Nin once said, we write to taste life twice, in the moment and in retrospect. Writing for me has been a great hobby ever since. Writing, more than reading, excites me and gives me incalculable energy I can hardly contain. Looking back, I can still vividly recall how I began this journey. I was once an unfocused 9-year-old who was tasked to do a 2 pages long reaction paper about an educational TV series. That's when I first noticed that I have this talent in writing. I'd write more than 2 pages and finish it right on time before I go to sleep. That's when I came to realize that I somehow struggled to articulate my words, but found out too that when I wrote out my thoughts, it just flowed freely. Having said that, I realized that writing is a better vehicle of communication for me than talking. As a one who loves to write, I've always wanted to become an author. That's one legacy a writer would love to leave behind. But I didn't know how and where to start the journey. Fast forward to almost 2 decades, I've finally made it happen with the help of Miss Sha's 90-day book writing challenge. This book is an ultimate fruit of my labor, love, and dedication, and my contribution to humanity. I hope to inspire all of the readers, doctors and non-doctors, because all of us go through so many struggles at a different rate and in varying circumstances. This book shall shed light, positivity, and inspiration to keep going, whatever you want to achieve in life or whatever you want to become. At the end of each chapter, I have specially prepared doctor's advices about life, love, and forging dreams. I'm sure you will be able to enjoy reading my book since all of us will be able to understand and relate everything that's written here. After reading it, I hope to put a big smile in your faces and make you feel energetic again, embracing one of God's greatest blessings, life itself. Thank you, everyone. And if you want to grab a copy of my book, you may do so by filling up this form through the attached link. Thank you and God bless.
We'll surely take a look at those advice at the end of your chapters, Doc Jervs. Thank you for writing your story and sharing it with us, as well as your challenges. Let's go to our next author. Our next author is an associate professor at Partido State University. She handled literature courses, and she is a research enthusiast in literature, social culture, oral history, and local heritage. She has also published an ebook entitled Mount Isarog Folktales from Bicol and a research article entitled Preserving the Bicol Heritage, a cultural mapping project of Partido municipalities in Camarines Sur. She is also the NSTP director of the university and promotes the act of volunteerism and civic welfare and consciousness of the college students. Author Maria Aurora Gratela-Caballero, come on stage.
Hi, I wrote a book. My inspiration to write a book is to share the messages that amazed me. Don't you know that in the 4th District of Camarines Sur, Philippines, there was a soldier who had a strong devotion to Mahal na Ina, or the Blessed Mother of the Peña Francia, and his fervent faith in Mama Mary was the source of his power according to his elder sister, Basing. He was a guerrilla soldier who was praying the rosary that manifested his love for his family and his mother, which paralleled how he loved his country, Philippines, in World War II and as a mayor in Goa municipality. It is inspiring to share that Bicolano soldiers' religious fervor is their spiritual source of victory on the battlefield. The book is all about Valiant, the life of Lorenzo Padua, hero of Partido District Camarines Sur. The book will give you the historical biography of the said Mayor Lorenzo Padua, a guerrilla who became a folk hero in Bicol. The book is an eye-opener to the readers about the struggles, respect, and accomplishments of a person based on the accounts of the various folks and witnesses of a mighty soldier who love this country and his family. The book also is an entertainment about his magic and charm and respect for him when he served as a municipal mayor for 3 terms because of his good governance, peace, and other platform, and love for the masses, of course. The 90-day book writing challenge by Nacino pushed me to complete my manuscript. It compelled me to use strategies to express my message in writing, and I am thankful that Nacino for guiding me to realize one of my dreams. So now, what are you waiting for? Get a copy of this book, read the biography of a valiant hero in Partido, and learn about local history while becoming acquainted with the places, people, and practices of the other side of Mount Israel. Thank you, and God bless us all.
We look forward to being inspired by another hero story. Thank you for writing that, author Aurora. We now go to author Marvin Cabatanya. Marvin C. Cabatanya, RFP, is a registered financial planner, chartered trust and estate planner, chartered wealth advisor, a certified wealth planner, certified estate planner Philippines, certified investment solicitor, a family business and wealth advisor, a financial advisor, IT network infrastructure manager, a licensed electronics and communications engineer, a licensed real estate broker, licensed real estate appraiser, a triathlete, a marathon runner, dad to Kyla, Christoph, and Ichabod, husband to a lovely wife, Grace. Let's welcome author Marvin.
According to the Consumer Finance Survey, on the 14th National Convention on Statistics, 75% of senior Filipino citizens have no retirement plan. The best time to prepare for your retirement is 20 years ago. Do you know the next best time? It's today. Many Filipinos would like to start their retirement planning journey, but there are so few resources available in the market. When you search retirement planning books online, the available in the market were primarily American books, which are written in American settings. They are discussing 401ks, they are discussing IRA, Roth IRAs, which are not applicable in Philippine settings. While in the local bookstores, you will find financial planning as a general, which barely touches the meat of retirement planning. So, we have so very few books discussing retirement planning specifically. That gave me an idea to write my own book discussing retirement planning for Filipinos. So if you're looking for a book that will guide you step by step in funding the longest vacation of your life and written in Philippine settings, fret no more. Pinoy Retirement Planning Book is for you. Here, I discuss 3 important things. Number 1, setting up the playing field. What are your rules in your retirement? Number 2, retirement offense. How to invest and grow your money. And number 3, retirement defense. Setting up your controls to mitigate risk in achieving your dreams. How did I start and complete this book? Well, I joined the 90-day book writing challenge by author Nacino. It is a framework to guide me on how to structure the topics and unfold all my idea in a very cohesive manner. Thank you very much, Ms. Nacino. So going back to my book, if you still do not have any retirement plan, grab one copy of my book. Hi, I'm Marvin Cabatanya. I'm a registered financial planner and I am an author.
Thank you for that lively presentation, author Marvin, and for writing the relevant retirement plan book for Filipinos. So grab a copy. And now let's go to we're down to the last author of this afternoon. So to share the lessons that she learned in the chemistry laboratory, we have author Celine. Celine Aaron Veralio loves good stories, camaraderie, and high-quality tapioca pearls. During her 20 years in the teaching profession, colleagues admire her for being an insightful person who perceives unfortunate events as learning opportunities. Concretely, these attributes are reasons in her book 15 Hilariously Dangerous Lessons I Learned in My Chemistry Classes, which is a storybook she offers as a gift to her chemistry students and those who want to write their funny laboratory moments and an inspiration for educators out there. Let's welcome author Celine.
Hi, I am Celine Aran Veralio, the author of the book entitled 15 Hilariously Dangerous Lessons I Learned in My Chemistry Laboratory Classes. I would like to share to you my slide. This book is a celebration of how beautiful teaching profession is. Thus, I offer this maiden edition as a gift to all my students who attended my chemistry classes in the Ateneo de Zamboanga University, my colleagues who laughed with me during learning sessions for the past 20 years, and to everyone else who wanted to tell their own stories by etching their narratives among the pages of this book, which also serves as a planner. Meanwhile, as I celebrate the fulfillment of this endeavor, I would specifically show my gratitude to the 90-day book writing challenge, which came in as a God's grace that filled in the gap of me wanting to really write a book but doesn't seem to know where to begin. The blueprint that Miss Nacino developed came in handy as I discovered my own skill in telling my story. The very accommodating demeanor of the team who assisted me in this journey gave me the courage to finish despite the various obstacles. For those of you who wanted to write your own book, go ahead, join the BWC, and you'll see it for yourself. Now, if you wanted to have a copy of my book, you can have them as an ebook or a hard copy. Just send me a message via Messenger at Celine Aron or email me at aronselby@gmail.com, or you can send me a text message at 0975-501-9760. For your order forms, I have attached here the link. God bless everyone. Thank you very much.
Thank you, author Celine. Many chemistry students and teachers will surely be able to relate with your book. And that's it. That's all of our authors who graduated today. Congratulations to everyone, the graduates of the 90-day book writing challenge. You've made it, and we look forward to a brighter future for you as you take this new chapter of your life as an author. We're excited to see the next steps that will happen. And as our panelists mentioned earlier, we don't know where your book will take you, and so we look forward to hearing your updates. And Justin, we're at the end now. But
Yes,
we have some announcements.
Yes, that's right. So before we announce the winners of our games, again, I just want to congratulate all our authors who graduated and finally launched their books. Congratulations, everyone. All right. So now for the winners of our games. So let's go to the winners of game 1 who will win the Money and Me ebook of Nacino. So first we have Durley Ewikan, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, and Hazel Amor. All right. And for game 2, they will win the Love Yourself Today ebook of Nacino. The first winner is Filomena Santillan and Jonah Olazo Sarzuela. All right, congratulations. And for game 3, Kat?
For game 3, the prize will be the Money and Me ebook of Sha. And our winners are Zoila Christine de Ocampo and July Abestro. So I hope I pronounce your names as well. So that's Zoila Christine de Ocampo and July Abestro. Congratulations to all our winners. And if you want to continue to be inspired, if you were inspired this afternoon, you can continue that by subscribing to Sha's Tuesday email newsletter. Just go to shanacino.com/dreams. Again, that's shanacino.com/dreams. Thank you, everyone, for being with us this afternoon. Thank you to all our panel speakers, Carrie Phipps, Sagar Amlani, and Delphine Ang, for generously sharing their time and insights with us today. Thank you also to all our viewers, to you, especially the family and friends who supported our Global Author Summit. Have a great weekend! Thanks, Justin, for being a co-host.
Thank you, Kat.